So you know what, guys? Something I wanted to talk about this episode to kick off the show is us and this hobby. We've been
Wow.
collecting. We've been collecting for some time, and we've seen it all. You've seen reissues. You've seen, or if you're a statue collector, repaints, whatever. You've seen it all. I want to
Hmm.
know if you can go back with the knowledge that you have today to when you
Oh, I like
before you
this.
started collecting. Would you change anything?
Like
Oh, I
in my
like this
collection
question.
or
Like
in
a
The way you
piece.
collect, your collecting habits. Would you
oh,
change anything with what you know today?
Oh, that's a good one.
that's a pretty
So
good question.
I don't think I've really. I don't want to say been burned because I don't think that's the right phrase. But I really try to think out all my purchases. I've owned a lot of different figures in the past, and maybe the one thing I regret is I always sell my collection to buy new parts of the collection, right? So like there was a time where I had all Star Wars, and then I sold all that to get all Iron Man stuff, and then I sold all that to get into DC, and then I sold all that to get back into Star Wars, and then I sold all that, and I just kept constantly changing and changing and changing. And I don't think it was bad, but I don't think it's the best way to do that. And I certainly enjoyed all the figures that I have. I mean, there's some that I really miss. The Star Boost Iron Man, one of my favorite figures of all time. The Mark Six. That was when I traded to you, Dean, right? For the Grievous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
was
Mark
about
Six.
what I was
One of
about
the
to
worst.
say.
One of the worst decisions I've ever made in my whole life.
Yeah,
It blew it.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever like bought something for like stupid money and like the next day it was reannounced, or like I haven't ever made any mistakes like that. But there's been a few figures I've bought that, the Bounty Killer by Caustic Plastic, one of the worst things ever released. But no, I don't know that I would change too much. I think it's been a fun collecting journey. I've met some amazing people along the way. And like Ninja Squirrel says, you can only evolve once you have failed and learned. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think I would take too much back. What about you guys?
yeah. I was about to say my biggest regret is I traded the Mark Six that I got from Zach away for two Iron Man suits, and I think technically I've come out on top on that deal still, even to this day.
What are the two?
But I was gonna say I don't think I would trade the Mark Six away again. Except today we're gonna be talking about
Yeah. You get
Mark
another
6
shot.
2.0. So
So what were the two suits that you got in the exchange?
the 43 and the 45.
Okay.
And then I sold the 43, and then I traded the 45 for the 40 or for the 6 or the 7,
Okay, got it.
like an even trade. And then now I've traded the 7 away for the deluxe Mando because I've been wanting a Mark 6. So they announced this, and I was like, I don't mind waiting. I'm not under any Iron Man hype. He's dead. Like, I could wait
Deluxe
for an
Mando?
Iron Man. Yeah.
The Chrome
seven's so
Mandalorian?
nice.
Yeah.
The
And,
seven's
and
so
mind
nice.
you, the figure I traded Zach for, I paid like $150.
Got over on Zach. That's brutal.
Zach,
Zach, you're on mute. No, I don't even think he's muted. I think.
Not only that,
There
but
it is.
he had broken it when he brought it to my house.
no,
and,
you,
like
you broke it. You
no. Okay, I
man.
breathed strong on it and it
No,
fucking broke. And I was like, "Are you
no.
kidding me?
Whatever, dude.
It's terrible." Probably put a little drop of glue so I wouldn't even notice.
So,
about
Dean,
you,
are you
Marco?
getting the Chrome Mandalorian? Is that what you were alluding
Yeah.
to? Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm so tempted on that one. Really quick before Ben goes, I think it's like pretty simple. I have purchased some figures that are not like in my top tier of like, okay, these are the elite characters that I really want to go after. Like Civil War Ant-Man was one of the first hot toys I got. In hindsight, I don't need the Civil War Ant-Man. It's a fine figure, but like I'm not going to sell it for much value these days. So it's kind of like one that's just there. He's in limbo. He doesn't really fit in my display. So characters like that, I probably just would not have purchased. But you're right. I think Ninja Squirrel said, "You live and you learn." So, how about you, Ben?
I would have looked for a community faster, I think. I felt like I was the only person out there that collected Hot Toys when I started. And I didn't tell anybody about it because I was just like, I had these really expensive figures. I didn't want to even admit it at the time. And then I made like all of the classic mistakes, like I threw out an art box once, a terrible choice. Jesus. I spent over $1,000 on the DX11 Joker I bought from eBay. Like I did all of the things that we try to help people not necessarily do. And it wasn't until I found like a community of folks like you guys in the chat that it was like, okay, there's lots of people out here doing what I like doing, and try and soak up as much of the good stuff as possible. So definitely wish I'd found that earlier. No, I mean, I think I started, I say 2008, but I think it was 2010 that I actually started. And it wasn't a big thing back then, I don't think, in terms of the online communities. There was a few people, but not a huge amount. So I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have been even successful, and I would have felt really alone. Hard to know.
Wow. Ninja says when you reached out and found out they spoke English, you were at ease. You'll love it. John, you've been collecting. I think probably maybe as long as Dean. I think Dean and you are the longest lived collectors. What would you change if you looking back on things?
I would have written all the dates as the reissues and sold everything before it reissued.
Wow.
No,
the old almanac, eh?
That's right.
In all seriousness, I think focus. There was points, especially in the hot toy collecting time, where it was grab whatever you can. Like releases would come and you would just pick them up. I think a focus, a character, a license, whatever, an IP, and focusing on that. If I can go back, and maybe I think that's the major one. And
Wow.
I also might have started a YouTube channel sooner, by the way. I'm just saying that because I saw a girl that started, she was like reading books to people online, and she's got like 1 million subscribers now. So I'm like, it can happen for us all.
I've always wanted to do that.
Just reading.
Yeah, she literally just would read books to people.
She just reads
and
some
she started out, she would get like 12
Are they in
12
English,
views.
Ben?
In English, right?
She spoke in English. I was easy to understand. It was, yeah.
I did see a stream the other day. It was shared with me. People painting their room, and they had like thousands of people watching. So
there's people that sleep.
There's
They
actually
have,
there's actually some videos where you can watch paint dry, and I find it more interesting than watching some of the other stuff I see on YouTube.
Oh my God.
Wow.
my
Bro,
gosh.
there's channel. I've watched people clean, and I'm like, I should do this.
Bro, don't even start with that cleaning.
I'll
guys.
watch the next video.
There's a woman who's cleaning. She has like 1 million views. She just vacuums her house.
How much titty does she show? Because I've seen a lot of those channels
I was gonna
too.
say there's one.
We can-
There's one with step siblings too.
I think we
Wow.
between the members of this panel, I think we could pull it off.
Wow. Sometimes you're cleaning and you get stuck. You get stuck somewhere.
in the dryer.
Step Zach.
It's like episode. Never mind. Jesus, never mind.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got 1 billion toys.
You brought in the doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Step Zach.
I'm Dean.
Oh, you're muted.
I think John.
No, I'm still. That thing was still playing. The video, the intro. I'm John. My
I'm Marco.
computer lags.
And I'm Ben.
Welcome
Close the
to
tabs.
this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. He was watching the Stuck video.
Good point.
the weekly
On
podcast.
bandwidth.
I was watching how to clean a carpet. No,
Jesus Christ. It's got 10,000 people watching. Welcome to this. I didn't know the intro anymore.
That's okay.
Jesus. Oh, man. My friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting. Look at me, got all flustered.
I know. Thanks for all the people listening at home and catching us on the replay. Sorry, Zach botched that intro, but it was
Okay. I didn't botch it. It was already pre-botched. It was pre-botched.
He lost me when he said friends. I was like, what? Where?
There we go.
You know the Travolta gif?
Jesus Christ. We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. Not a lot to talk about, but we're going to make the best of the next 2 hours. And joining us, we have Toy Mafia, Tukatri, Niculio, Ninja Squirrel, Carlito, 12-inch Moose Stream, Badfish, Doc Smizzle, give me the news, baby. TK592, where is Lane? Is he safe? Dante's Boneyard. Doc says Lane is closed, merge left. Erwin, OG fan, Jazzy. Look at these angels. Mark Pearson, Gigi, King Ding. Also, we have Dr. Equan, Yomo, Vane, 21, Danik, and Lee Walker. Look at these angels in the chat. So many people. Danny, Niculio, John Ortiz, Brenton, Palmer, Baby Boy, 562. Go check out that question of the week on Sunday and give us an answer if you can. It would be great to have. We also have... Jazzy said, is she hot? The girl reading. That's funny. Six Guns Figs. I'm eyeing to get a DX13, but I know as soon as I finally pull the trigger, that 2.0 will hit.
Which one's the 13?
Someone Google that for me. Rogue Traveler Calvin. Dean, we have a very special segment that we kick off all of the best shows with.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What'd you get new this week? I had a pretty productive week. It started
raw
off.
Expensive week.
It's the T800, by the way.
Would you strike the lottery?
No, in fact, I only paid money for two of the things here.
Well, I'm doing everything wrong.
Our friend of the show, Rainer, hit me up. He's like, hey, this guy has a lot of figures for sale. Zach Rainer is going to a convention next month, or in a couple weeks, and he wants to get some figure signs. And this person had something he was interested in. And in the back, he had two figures from Kill la Kill. These are Sega, like 10-inch figures, and they're incredibly expensive. They're like, I've seen them go for like $150 a piece. It's Ryuko Matoi and Satsuki Kiryu from Kill la Kill, one of my favorite animes.
Bless you.
And I've been trying to find these, and I couldn't. I missed out on a couple good deals. And I was like, hey, tell the guy we'll meet him, and I'll pick those up. I'll go with you. So we go to the guy's house. He did not include them in the lot, even though they were in the photo. And I was like, hey, man, like, they were in the photo. Like, I was expecting them to be here. He was like, yeah, I don't know, but I guess I'll sell them to you for like $80. I was like, done. Easy. $40 each. Fucking sign me up. So I picked those up. And then I also picked up a Hot Toys Bo-Katan, which I have to tell you is a stunning figure. I mean, in hand, this thing is incredible.
They really improved their portrait.
It's so well done. The tailoring, the armor, the way it connects. Usually the Velcro's kind of shitty, but like this figure is honestly breathtaking. So that was cool. I traded a couple old Hot Toys I wasn't interested in anymore for that. So I technically didn't save any money, but I also didn't spend money because it was already gone. And then I finally got this Sozo Micah cover of Catwoman number 49 with Punchline on the cover.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It's a sexy ass cover. CC had sent this to me when it was coming out. It came out like November like 15th or something. And I could not find anybody pre-selling this as a 9.8 anywhere. Usually like Beach Bum or wherever. And somebody asked me about it the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I wonder like what the deal with that is." So I went on eBay, and there was one for $50, so I bought it. So
there we go.
Yeah, super cool. It's not like a particularly like important book, but I really love the cover, and God, it's so beautiful. So I picked that.
That's
up.
awesome, buddy.
Yeah, that was great.
I love it.
Quick question for you, buddy. Do you keep most of these figures in the boxes, or do you take them off the cart?
What
Like
do you
your little your anime statues that you've got there, and
Oh, for some of these, I usually keep them in the box.
yeah,
Yeah, especially the important ones like these two.
that's what I was wondering. Yeah, fair enough.
But then, sweet listener of the show, Paul Schreiber, he messaged me the other day, and he was like, "Hey, do you collect Transformers at all?" And I was like, "Not really. I have a couple Transformers, but they're like the Jetfire, which is like in the history of Transformers was like an old Macross / Robotech toy they like repackaged." And he was like,
all the
it is-
Transformers were like that's like they were all like transforming toys that they readapted into like
yeah.
yeah.
And he was like, "Well, it's actually a Jetfire figure." And I was like, "Oh, well, that works out great." He's like, "Yeah, I got an extra one. I'll send it to you." And I offered to pay for shipping, but he was like, "Dude, don't you dare!" And I was like, "Wow, you're an angel, bro."
Wow,
So
Paul's charging
sweet.
me for shipping. What the hell?
Sweet
How dare you,
Paul.
Paul?
He sent me that, so
I'm
that's
just kidding,
cool.
Paul.
I didn't know it was in the box. I thought he bought like a lot of figures and like there was gonna show up loose. But
Yeah.
it's like full on in the package, like beautiful. So I probably won't open that. And then sweet Mark Pearson, what an angel. He was selling these Ahsoka sabers, which I love. The Clone Wars Ahsoka sabers, so cool.
Do they vibrate?
I don't think they vibrate, but they do. If you have the blades, they turn on and make sounds.
Wow. Only one way to find out. These are from Disneyland as well, right?
Huh?
Specifically, these are from
the
Disneyland, right?
Yeah, Disneyland.
You can't clean
And
your ass with those.
I was like, you know what, dude? I've always wanted these, but I don't have the money for it. But would you fancy a trade? And he was like, I'm a fancy boy. And I was like, well, let's talk. So I had the Asmus Nazgul. And I don't have anything other Lord of the Rings in my collection. And I was like, it sticks out, I'd rather have the sabers. And he was like, cool, let's work out a deal. So
You took
we
the
did.
Asmus box and put the other third party Nazgul.
No, dude, I sent him
Shoved
the
it
legit
in
one.
there.
No, the third party, he'd be able to tell immediately. That thing is so bad. But yeah, so we worked out a trade for these sabers and super great. And then he sent me 2 bonus figures, the Clone Pilot Hawk and the vintage Boba Fett Empire on cards. So he's a really sweet guy. So shout out Mark Pearson. I love that guy.
Man, that's a crazy haul for a week, by the way. You got some dangerous
That
friends
is.
to be a part of. Like, damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of
Mark
stuff.
is an angel. Mark is an
awesome.
absolute angel.
Absolute angel, yeah. So, I mean, technically I spent money on all this. It was just, it was trades and stuff. So that money I had spent was, a long time ago. So, yeah, it was a pretty good week. Pretty good week. What about you?
You
guys?
love to see it.
Yeah. So first off, shout out to Zach's Wonderland. I had heard dodgy things about them, but in
How dare
fact,
you.
this 3D printed Darth Vader helmet came through incredibly fast, beautifully painted. I've seen some of the other work that Zach's been doing in terms of the N1 Starfighter. My gosh, you're crushing it, man. I was saying, I was telling you, I was like, it's like having if you were a kid and you had a friend that made their own toys. Like, imagine how incredible that'd be. That's Zach right now. It's
You
fucking
should sell
gold.
them.
Living my
telling you.
best life.
Yeah,
Living my
no
best
joke,
life.
man. I was on Etsy. I saw that an N1 Starfighter, and yeah, they're going for big bucks. So yeah,
are.
so centerpiece of my Star Wars collection over here, this melted Darth Vader helmet, and yeah, I got my Moji cases finally, and so you can kind of see how I've had this displayed. The Star Wars collection's a little bit weak right now in terms of the display setup. I think Marvel's a bit stronger at this point, so trying a few things, but where that helmet is sitting, it will stay exactly there. So yeah, thank you, Zach, for hooking it up on that.
I'm honored that it's in the center of your collection. Look at that. It is 1/6 scale, Sam. And Pablo says, are you doing a second run of that Vader helmet, Zach? I don't mind to do a second run, but I was telling Marco today, like, the pricing of everything, like, I kind of priced them too cheap. And, like, I basically lost, like, 30 or 40 bucks doing that run. With all the packaging, and then the shipping was much more expensive, and the resin, like, each of these, like, to print them and support them is, like, these are dense. They're, like, solid. and it's almost like $6 worth of resin to print this. So
I didn't expect it to be so substantial too. Like the motherfucker was heavy.
So yeah, if there's interest in the Patreon chat, let me know. But yeah, it is possible if there's enough interest. But I'm also trying to think of something to do for February, because I do want to do like small batches of things for Patreon members. Like they want to pay a little bit extra, get like a cool little thing every month. But yeah, we'll have to work on that. I know there was already one of the Patreon members that had messaged me about it and lined one up. So yeah, if we can get a few more, I have all the paint and everything that I bought for this run. So yeah, definitely could be a thing. But yeah, this is awesome to see it. And I'm happy because I think all of you guys got yours like yesterday and today. Everyone's been super happy with them. You know, nothing broke during shipping, or, you know, boxes weren't too creased.
Yeah, well, a little too creased for my taste, but no,
there we
honestly,
go.
it came pristine. You packaged everything
Fargo.
beautifully.
Customer service is going to be getting a call.
There you go. Ben, you got something that I've always wanted to get. This is awesome.
Yeah, quick question for you, Marco. Would you ever consider collecting statues? That came from Hugh in the chat.
Oh, I didn't even see that at all. You know, I've seen some beautiful statues. My room is pretty small here, so I just don't think I have the space, and I like figures a bit more. So, yeah, I'd consider maybe one or two, but for now, I think that dream is on pause for sure.
That's fair. Gigi would come for you.
She does not like the idea.
Yeah, so for this week, for me, I got myself a light box. I've been having a good time with my YouTube channel, doing YouTube shorts and figure reviews, and honestly, sometimes just trying to have a better look at a figure under the right lighting is difficult, right? So I got this thing off of Amazon. I spent only 100 Canadian, so probably what's that, like $42 American, but I'm just kidding. It's pretty rough exchange rate lately, but but it was cool to get. It's huge. It's 2x2, so 24 inches by 24 inches, way more inches than anybody would really ever need. But I can fit my Thanos
you'd be happy
in there
with like a 3x3 light box.
The goal was that I wanted to try to be able to fit my DeLorean in it when it comes in a couple months. And so
it changes color like this?
So how does this work? Because this looks clean.
Yeah, so it actually has different, like they come with laminated matte sheets. Okay. So you can like kind of slide the sheet in. So it comes with orange, it comes with blue, black, white, and gray. And so you can kind of give it different looks. So I used the same figure as just kind of a test to see kind of what all lights. It also has a dimmer switch. So like some of them are a little overexposed. Obviously, there's going to be some instances like with the taller figures like Thanos, I had to turn the light down a little bit because it was really shining off his head. But it's a lot cleaner than the setup that I've had previously. When I moved my like YouTube kind of setup into this office room away from the rest of my figures, my other figures out in the other room have a ton of extra light from all the Philips Hue strips, because I think there's 6 strips out there, whereas there's only 2 strips in behind me. So I moved in here and suddenly I was losing all the light from my reviews and stuff that I wanted to do. So $100 well spent. The only thing is that even though it's collapsible, it was such a pain in the ass to set up that I've literally like taken it off my desk in one full thing, and I think my cat thinks it's like a cat house, to be fully honest. Like, wow. He's really pissed that he can't get in it. So and then I shared this with Zach right before the stream. I didn't actually add it to the new this week, but I bought a book collection today. $50 for 50 books.
Comic books?
No,
they were in
not
English.
Comic books. They are in English.
Gonna ask.
Well, actually, I haven't looked through them all yet, so I'm hoping. But tell me if you guys remember these from childhood, and I might be dating myself a little bit.
These are Goosebumps, bro.
Animorphs,
nice.
Bro. This shit goes.
I remember this. Yes,
I got one through 45. 1 through 45. I got the Hork-Bajir. What is that? Hork-Bajir.
What? That was in English.
Chronicles.
Okay,
one of my
that's not in
favorites.
English,
One of my favorites, which is cool. I got like the Vizier book.
For those listening at home, it's Animorphs.
Animorphs, yes. Animorphs.
These are all Animorphs, all 50 books.
All 50 books. The Andalite Chronicles, like it's crazy. So and like I used to collect these back when I was a kid in like public school, because they used to have like the Scholastic Book Fair, right? And that was like, you know, being
Dude, like the book fair used to be dumb.
It was cool, right? You go get some pencils, you get some erasers, you get a couple Animorphs books, maybe a Goosebumps
You're not
book.
in class. That's the best.
You're not in
part.
class.
And I would never read them.
So I've got like literally 1 through 45, and then all these extras. So
Dude, I always bought Hank the Cowdog books.
Hank the Cow
Dude,
Dog. I
Hank
remember.
goes hard,
Yeah.
bro.
Dude, Hank was the man.
Wait,
I remember-
hang on. I need to look up something. I think you may have just unlocked a core memory.
I remember them being harder reads than they were, though. I looked today and I'm like, oh, they're only like 140 pages.
Like you're
I'm
an
like,
adult.
shit. Right?
You're like a full-grown man.
Dude,
But
there
it's-
was this one VHS that my parents used to like. You know, go to grandma's house. She only has like 3 VHSs. It was like a cowboy, but he was like a man cow. And if anyone in the chat knows about what I'm talking about, I need to know because I thought that's what you were talking about there.
No,
but
Hank the
I know
Cowdog
what.
was
Yeah,
a cow dog. Like,
yeah, not a
he was
man
a
cow.
dog
cow
that worked
dog.
on a farm. I don't really know.
Yeah. Real quick, we got a new Patreon. 6 Guns Figs. I just joined the Patreon. I can't fix my address on there. I believe the address is only required for the 750 tier because the digital one that you sign up for, you know, all the benefits are just the digital ones. But Equan said Zach's about to quit X-Files like Merlin and start the Animorph show. Fun fact, I've already watched the Animorph show after I didn't finish Merlin, so joke's on you,
Really?
Equan.
Bro,
already did
I
that.
finished Merlin and I want to talk to Zach about it so bad, and he refuses to finish it. And I'm like, please.
Well, it's piling up, Dean. It continues to pile. Okay, I can't.
The
can't
show
catch up.
ended like 10 years ago.
No, there's too much to happen. There's too much has happened. Ben, that is a great haul, and
cool.
6 Gun Figs. I'm gonna get you updated on that slide.
Ben, I have to
hopefully
ask
while
really
we're
quick.
live.
Sorry to jump in
No,
there,
go ahead,
but
go ahead.
So you came home with $50 worth of children's books. What did Shauna think of that haul?
She thought it was
It's
cool.
better than coming
She's
home
like,
with
are you
$300 worth of
sending me a
children's
message?
toys.
Oh my God, Zach.
She thought it was cool, but the lady I bought it from, she was like, "Oh, like, is this for your little one?" I was like, "Honestly, he's an 18-pound silver bangle. I don't think he likes books, but I'm gonna read the shit out of them."
I'm going to read them to him and find out.
She was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, adult collector. What can I say?
For those who gotta graduate to Batman comics, okay? Next.
Yeah,
Was it actual 50 Canadian dollars or like $50 worth of ganja?
50 Canadian dollars. Yeah.
Jesus.
No, she wouldn't accept the green, unfortunately.
50
so.
Canadian dollars, and he had to,
She's like,
he had to
"You're
shovel
gonna
her
need
driveway.
these."
She's like, "Hell, Ben, I got stuck."
Oh my god.
Oh man,
I got the books in my dryer, and
She
I can't
did
get it
actually
out.
tell me her husband was out of town, which I was like, that's a strange thing.
Wow,
to
that
tell.
is a strange. Wow,
Yeah.
Shauna better watch out.
That gave me goosebumps.
I
Ben
got
was
one
about to
singular goosebump in my pants.
Yeah.
Ben was about to anamorph into a dog.
Heal! Heal!
Oh my god.
Down boy.
Yeah.
Oh man, that
Get the
is
peanut butter out.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's Mark.
Look at this case though.
John. Jesus
That's a good
Christ.
callback, dude.
John, that
Do we
is
even need to talk
amazing.
collectibles? We should just keep going, man. This thing.
It's comedy night. Oh,
Zach,
I'm dying.
this looks
I'm dying.
fantastic.
This does
I-
look fucking.
I
We
didn't
need to
see
have
that
a-
you finished this.
Oh yeah, I did a video on it.
Okay. I want one.
Okay, let me get situated. That was fucking funny, John.
Mark's like, how dare you?
The whole segment
Oh,
was great.
Skippy.
I couldn't skip you, Mark.
We need to clip. We need to clip that as for clips. That's funny. Anyway, so Mando's N1 Starfighter. These are the files from Rebel Base builds. What a great guy! I talked to him today. He really enjoyed the video that I put up, and then the photos. You know, he had just found out about our Instagram, so he kind of went back and commented on all the photos. I talked to him about some suggestions, and he's like, absolutely, like, I do want to revisit this now that I'm a bit more experienced, take some of your feedback into consideration, but it's TVC scale, and it is, oh my god, this print came out amazing. It's mostly printed in plastic, so PLA, with some resin parts for, like, the more detailed parts, and it came out so fucking good, and I kind of printed it thinking like, oh, like it will be cool if it works out, but I wasn't really expecting it to work out, and I'm super happy with the way that it came out.
This looks incredible.
Yeah, I didn't notice that you did the windows.
Yeah, that was the last thing I did. I did those on Sunday. I could have finished this project much earlier, but I was poor, and clear resin is like kind of inconvenient because you don't use it for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so I just bought like a half kilo of resin. But yeah, this came out really good. Honestly, like I think it probably would have came out a little cleaner if I printed it in resin for the whole thing, but honestly, looking at it, I don't think you can really tell that it was plastic printed just because of all the sanding and the finishing and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for you to come and check it out, Dean, because it's
How
it's
does it
huge.
compare size-wise to like the Lego one?
You know, the Lego one is huge, actually.
Is the Lego one in the background there?
Yeah.
Of this
Yeah,
picture?
you can
okay.
see it in the background. Yeah, so it's quite large. This is only maybe like 4 or 5 inches shorter than the Razor Crest. Like, it's a really long ship. It's like 24 inches long at 3 3/4 scale. It's huge. It's not particularly wide or particularly dense. And most of that is, like, more than half of that is the tail, but oh my god, it came out so good. The little canopies came out good. The print came out good. A few things that I would probably do better if I was to do it again. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. And I do want to do a stream. If any of you guys are interested to join, you guys are 100% welcome. But, you know, you guys can ask some questions. I have probably about 30 photos of like the process. I did want to film parts of it, but it's such a massive piece and you have to be so careful with it, you know, sanding and everything. It just really wasn't possible for me to like film it at a good angle and also be able to really finish it. And, you know, I was telling the guys, like, you know, we stream a lot and sometimes you just want to, like, you know, watch X-Files and just turn your brain off and not have to be on, so to speak.
Yeah.
And because, I mean, it's really like 10 hours of sanding. Like, I don't know that that's a particularly entertaining stream. Just watching me just fucking, you know, sanding it, going
depending on the
watch you-
angle,
I
I'd
would
be
watch you,
extremely
yeah,
disturbed. I'm not
sure.
gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Disturbed
definitely.
or bro, this is just incredible though. Like this
It looks
is
amazing, buddy.
I remember, like, I had a Hot Toy sculpt that had a little bit of damage. You're like, oh, send it over to me, like I can paint it, no problem. I was like a little skeptical. This is, I think, when we first met.
Wow,
like, after
how
seeing
dare
the
you.
shit that you've done, though, I'm like, there's no doubt, man. This, yeah, like I'm blown away by the your skill level on this. It's really, really cool.
And I gotta say, Hot Toys was Hot Toys was a huge help because in the show there's not a ton of references for the little paint chippings, like the little yellow paint that he leaves. And so, like, Marco had taken some footage of the N1, like obviously some other content creators had. So I was able to really kind of dial in the where those marks needed to be and how they needed to look. Sorry, nice.
So would you consider selling these?
So I talked about it in the video today. It's tough because I think I was very fortunate that I was able to print this, and I only have one printer. And, like, God forbid I'm in the middle of this print and it fails. Like, I wouldn't just be able to just go buy another printer. Like,
Yeah.
it's like $300.
If you did like an addition, oh, I see. What you're
Yeah, but there are people that make them on Etsy, and they charge about $600 for 3 3/4 scale.
saying.
And that's like
$600 for this size?
Yeah, and that's like like you get it and
Wow.
it's finished.
Wow.
You can get the kit, and it's about $200, where it's all the raw parts, and then
Yeah.
you have to assemble them and sand them and
Wow.
you know, spray them and everything. I would say it would be more likely, and I'm not saying like for sure, but like 5% chance that I would maybe just sell the parts. But even then, it's I don't really know how you would ship the parts even, because resin is quite fragile. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of something that it will likely either be one of one or one of two that I make, maybe one of three, because I do want to make this again. Because again, I did learn some things on this process, but there's also another guy that has a different file, and his file is specifically made for like people that do make things for other people. So all the parts are like keyed, and they like, it's a much more expensive
So you
file.
can
It's like
ship it in-
$65
You can ship it in
compared
pieces.
to, I think so. And so a lot of the people that make these professionally for other people, including the one that I just talked about for $600, they use that guy's files. But Rebel Base Builds, I mean, this is a great set of files. Very easy to assemble. This is only printed in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces. So pretty reasonable. Definitely pretty reasonable. But yeah, I'm excited to do that stream, and I hope that you guys can can be there for that, or at least have some of the listeners ask some questions, because I want to be able to provide as much information for you guys at home that might want to do it or just are curious about the process. But yeah, there's that. Appreciate all the kind words, guys. And then the last thing that I got, so Victoria checked out After Dark last week, and she picked up the credits collection, Mandalorian. And I gotta say, I didn't know what to expect. I thought the card was going to be foil for some reason, but it wasn't. And the image on the card was also very pixelated, and the card was kind of damaged. I was going to savagely rip that packaging open anyways and never see it again. But when I called Amazon, they apologized and gave me a little bit of a credit back, but no pun intended. But I love this, and I definitely want to go back and pick up the other 2 credit collection Mandos, because they're definitely unique paint jobs, and I really like the way this one looks and the way it came out. So big shout out to Victoria for that.
Sorry, Zach, you may have said I spaced out. What's that coin out front? Is that a chocolate coin?
Yeah, it's one of
No,
those
so
ones.
it's weird because they call them the credit collection,
okay.
and essentially what like the paint scheme is, because this is Din Djarin from the show. The paint scheme is representative of the artwork that they have at the end of the show, right? They have like the stylized artwork, and they take the end credit. So they take those color schemes and then apply them to these figures, but they're kind of cheeky because they also throw in a credit, this is like a New Galactic credit, but they have like the more rectangular ones, and so I guess for that way it's the credit collection, and also you get a credit with it. I don't know, it's kind of silly, but I like them. I think they're neat.
So in Canada, for our $1 and our $2, we have a loonie and a toonie. And at Christmas time, Shauna got me like this tin of chocolate toonies. And I had smoked one, and I was laying in bed, and I was eating these chocolate toonies. And I woke up the next morning with a freaking chocolate toonie stuck to my face. Wow. So embarrassed. She was like, you can't eat chocolate in bed anymore.
Wow.
So yeah, I saw that coin. I'm like, ooh,
in.
PTSD. Yeah.
Wow.
Had to share that with you guys.
I don't have chocolate.
It's my embarrassing story of Christmas.
Yeah.
There we go.
I was a little drunk too.
Well, you're a little drunk, a little high. Had some nuts to swallow.
Yeah. Fell asleep on some chocolate.
Jesus Christ. Let's get into the news. Hot Toys Mark 6 2.0. This one's coming January to June 2024. Retailing for $365 for the collector's edition, which is the figure by itself, or $655 for the deluxe edition, which is the figure and the gantry. On Hot Toys' page, they did have photos of just the gantry by itself, but I did not see that listed on Sideshow's website, so I imagine at some point you may be able to purchase the gantry separately, but at the moment, Tuesday night on January 31st, it is not available for pre-order. This is one of the greatest, at least the first version was one of the greatest Hot Toys I've ever owned. I would honestly say perhaps a near perfect figure. I really enjoyed that figure, and I imagine if they took what they learned on that figure and apparently it's on Sideshow's site now. Marco, can you grab that price for me? Iron Man wise, I think it's great. I think the portrait itself, I think it looks a bit too old for Avengers 1 Tony, if I can be completely honest. But sculpt wise and paint wise, I do think it's a good sculpture. I think there is a lot of talent on display here. I just think it's perhaps maybe 10 years too old. Here we go, $335 US. Thank you, Benfish. But yeah, I think this is great. Like I mentioned, you can get the gantry, which I feel like the gantry used to be like a really special thing. And we've seen so many gantries lately that I almost feel gantryed out, if I can be completely honest. But this is a great set here. It comes with some different armor bits, different swap outs. You do get the now almost typical rolling eyeballs by Hot Toys. And I mean, I think it looks good. I think it's great that if you have the first Mark 6, you can just get the gantry by itself, which this is what you would get. Or if you don't have it at all, you're not forced to get the gantry, but you also have that option too. Dean, you mentioned that you were looking at this, and I'm curious which version you're going to go with and what you think of any potential upgrade.
Yeah. I'm kind of completely with you on the the original one was one of the best figures I've ever owned, or in general, coming from Hot Toys. So I have pretty high expectations with this one. I feel like if I don't get the gantry one, it's a waste. But how much was it?
The gantry one was $655, and Badfish said $335 if you just get the gantry by itself. $365 if you get the figure without the gantry.
$365.
really
That's
good
it.
value. Yeah,
That's not a bad. That's not a bad
price
price
for an Iron Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Diecast.
Yeah. Wasn't the Mark 7 like 4 something?
They're all mid fours.
405.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was a lot.
Yeah,
double
this
check
is an
that. Mark
easy
7.
pick. Dude, that's easy pickup without the gantry. With the gantry, it's a little bit of a tougher nut to swallow, but I might do it.
$433 for the Mark 7.
I'm kind of with you on the head sculpt that it looks a little aged, but I also feel like it's very representative of at least Iron Man 2. Maybe not Avengers 1. But, in that movie, he's kind of, Tony Stark.
I get
he's
what you're
very-
saying. Like, he's kind of
a goof.
Well, he's kind of having a rough go in
Yeah.
Iron Man 2. Like, he's got that, what is it, like the poisoning, the metal
Right.
poisoning.
Yeah.
I don't know, it looks better this side angle, but boy, he looks old. Like, the Patreon chat, they've been memeing this right here on the right.
Yeah.
They've been sending
Yeah,
photos.
I know a lot of
like-
people don't like it.
Yeah.
I think it could
It's-
definitely be better, but I also think I've seen worse Tony Starks. So
There we go. A Place for Collecting says, "Oh dang, look at Marco showing off his Magic cases. No Sephiroth. How dare you? How dare you?" Key says, "I think the production sculpt will probably be a little softer, so it'll look a little younger once it's released." I hope so. I mean,
maybe.
I think from a technical standpoint, I think this is really nice. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the level of detail they've captured here, especially in the hair, I think is really good. But I don't know. It just looks. This looks like in-game or Infinity War aged Robert Downey Jr.
yeah, that's a really easy pickup. If I could find a Mark 46 at a pretty comparable price, I probably won't end up with this, because that to me is like the ultimate suit to own. But if I don't, this is a super easy. I've never been happy with any Iron Man since I own this figure, and I've had 3. Technically 4, because Zach let me have his Mark 50 for a week, and I hated it.
You really did. You called me the next day and you're like, "Dude, I don't want this figure."
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it on the shelf. I was like, I don't like anything about this. So, and I think that's just a testament to how great the Mark 6 was. That figure was stunning. So to
It's
have
also
this,
a badass suit, like with all that it does in the films. Like
Yeah.
there's some suits that don't do a lot. The Mark
Yeah.
6 is
a banger.
featured in quite a bit.
Yeah.
I just can't get over that price point, $365, and you get a
That's
portrait.
crazy to me. That's
And his
cheaper than
diecast.
Deluxe Mando.
That
He's
is cheaper.
$375.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's nuts.
These nuts.
Yeah. What about you guys?
John falling
All right,
asleep on us over there.
let's
Oh,
move on.
No, I'm here. Sorry, I didn't know he was done. I was
No.
like, he was talking nuts. This is a nice release. Yeah, this is. I'm just personally over Iron Man. I'll be honest. Like we're still talking about Iron Man in 2023. The poor guy's dead and buried already. We're still selling Iron Man. Holy man. I love the gantry. If I was to pick this up, it would be the gantry, the pack, the full pack, because I love that thing. I think it's really cool. I like the portrait. I know when I first saw the portrait, I was a little, I loved it. I know you would put a side by side of an actual still of Tony. It does look a little old, a little saggy, but it's a huge improvement. The portrait is a huge improvement. So yeah, and again, the price point, shockingly, the price point is fair. But for me, I would have to go with that gantry, because the way they display him, it's like a still right out of the film. I think they nailed this release. But let's transition. How many more Iron Man are we gonna get? Let's transition.
All
away
of them. I bet we
from
see
Iron Man.
another Mark II. I bet, like, guaranteed.
Oh yeah,
It's just
coming.
like,
There's
come on.
more
It's coming.
coming. There's more coming.
I think there's a massive demand. It's overseas for Iron Man.
For sure. I showed this picture to Shauna, expecting her to have a reaction on the head sculpt, and she was like, "Oh, I like it better because the button on the front is a better shape." I was like, "Yeah, definitely not going to let you hold this figure."
Wow.
So I didn't like this head sculpt when I first saw it. It's actually grown on me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Over the last week, I've seen it memed a lot, like you guys are saying. But
really has been.
But I like the rolling eye feature. I think for Tony, that little bit of a smirk and the fact that it's got the rolling eyes, you'll be able to create some pretty cheeky looks out of the guy, because he's full of cheeky looks throughout kind of the whole time we know him, right, as a character in Marvel. So I think it will be a head sculpt that ends up being sought after down the line. I think it's just that right now, I think people are feeling a little bit Iron Man fatigued, so it's a little easier to pick apart. It's definitely no Tony Stank at this point. In terms of the Mark 6 suit, I do love the suit, but I did choose the Mark 7 on purpose. I love the Mark 7. If I'm going to get another suit, it's going to be the Mark 3 or the Mark 1. I think that's about it. I'm trying to stick to kind of a max 2 Iron Man in the collection, because otherwise you just go, like, there's just so many you can buy. It's like it's a little daunting. So, and
you want them all too, right? If you're like
you end up wanting them all. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't think I can justify it. I'm really looking at the Mark 1 so I can have like kind of the first suit and then have an evolution of the suit being the Mark 7 and try and cap it there for my own collection. As far as the gantry goes, I love that it's not paywalled behind this figure. I love that you can get it on its own terms. I think that was something that if they hadn't done, that would have lit the community on fire a little bit, especially with people rebuying Mark 6 right before this at pretty high market value. Like, people were paying quite a lot of money to get a Mark 6 back in their collection, and then they reissued it. So I would have hated to be one of those people to then see this figure, especially at this price point. That would have been a tough nut. So,
but Ben, at this point though, you have to realize they're reissuing all the suits, right? So if you're spending top dollar on Iron Man,
but again, like we said at the beginning, of the show, though, if you're somebody like me, back before I had a community of people to like follow and listen to, I paid $1,000 for that Joker, and now I've got another 2 Jokers coming. Like, it's the way she goes, right? And that would have sucked. Like, that could be something that could take somebody out of the community right away if they're starting a new collection, and then they get that kick in the teeth. You know, a good lesson to learn early, I guess. But still, I'm glad they didn't paywall it. So
definitely, and yeah, and I think it's all reasonably priced. I think it looks beautiful. I'm not upset with the head sculpt. I'm glad that they kind of have a different look. So at least if you're going to pose him with the sculpt, he's going to be smirking as opposed to, the more serious that we get with most other Iron Man figures. What I don't love, if you're going to charge, mid 6s for a beautiful diorama and a figure, please, let's start investing in magnet technology like InArt is doing, because we've already seen the Mark 5 suit up and, the terrible things that people have had to say about all the little clips and, these intricate parts, which are beautiful, but you're spending a lot of money for, if you break that, you're kind of SOL. And so I would just love for them to, lead with that. Like, hey, we've got all these really intricate parts, but it's really easy swap in, swap out, because without that, I'm like, I just can't, justify paying that much, knowing that I could, potentially ruin portions of the really beautiful design. So that could be a nitpick in some people's eyes, but that's something that's giving me pause for this particular suit. That I do love and I think is beautiful. I want to add it to the collection. But like Ben was saying, in terms of like the beginning of the suits, I'm kind of more attracted to like the Mark III, I think. And, that one is still coming out at fairly pricey as well. Yeah. But that maybe speaks to me a bit more than this one. In a perfect world, I would have all of them in the collection, but there's just not the room, as I'm finding out more and more. So I may have to make a tough choice. I don't think the gantry is coming home. Again, I do want it, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to pass on this. But we got a few years to figure this out, hopefully.
Interesting aspect of this gantry, though, and I noticed it after I was looking through the photos there earlier randomly today, when I should have probably been working. I don't see a figure stand or like holder on that gantry. Do you think that they've just photoshopped it out and there'll be one that exists, or do you think that there's no waist grabber, crotch grabber, dynamic stand, and that he's basically just kind of freestanding?
They show one of the arms holding onto his leg in one of the pictures, but that's the only thing I've seen. Yeah, that's the only time
I'm just thinking, you folks in California and places that get earthquakes, like, I don't know if I would trust it. My Iron Man standing on the stairs like that, it just feels like a recipe for disaster. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious to see how that goes.
Yeah.
That's when I agree with you, Marco, with like even magnet technology in the bases, right? Like that.
There you go.
Have it in the base at the very least to make them freestand. But yeah,
Doesn't seem that hard, honestly. I'm not an engineer, but it doesn't seem that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff, boys. Let's look here. The Mark 1 by Hot Toys was released. I don't know. I've seen some side-by-sides. In fact, let me see if I can grab one of the original Mark 1. I don't really like this portrait. I do, however, like the suit. I do like the suit a lot. I'm curious what you guys think about it while I'm grabbing that photo.
Yeah, I mean, it's so iconic, right? Like, it's hard not to like love this suit. Like in terms of adding it to the collection, like I have to talk myself out of it because it's so good. But I think it looks fantastic. I love it. I only need one Iron Man in my collection. You know, I have a Tony Stark with the workbench, but like I want like an actual like suit, and like to me, this isn't enough. If that makes sense. But it is cool. I like it a lot.
I thought this was cool. I know it's see, this is a warranted reissue 2.0, whatever you want to use. And I say that because of the technology that kind of went in here. I saw the video where they hooked up the USB and you can see the fan, the little motor. That's pretty cool. Again, though, I don't like the way they engineered that USB because you see the wire. The wire is like right in your face. And then again, it would be facing the back of whatever you displayed in a detolf or so forth. But I think that they can, with the technology we have nowadays, and the price point really that this went up for, there has to be another way. Maybe maybe you can recharge it, as opposed to keeping it plugged in. If you can charge it,
that's the future, John.
That would
That's
make
3.0.
funny. That would make sense. But being someone that has the previous release of this, I say that the technology that went in here would warrant this 2.0.
The remake.
Technically, this is a 3.0.
Yeah,
You're right.
and some of
That's
the
a good
complaints that I've seen from those that have it in hand is that the fan is pretty loud, and it's kind
it
of
was
annoying.
really loud on the.
And I want to
video.
say, I want to say that it's not independent from the, like you have the lights on and the fan on or the motor on, but it's not like you can just have the lights on. And so there's people that pick up like those soap studios, you know, where they're kind of like putting the batteries into the wall, and you can't. Essentially, you're just going to have that thing, you know, spinning all day long and making that noise. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel like if you ask anybody to tell you which is the new head sculpt here,
I honestly don't. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the right one, but it's pretty close. It's been a while since I made this. Yeah, it may be. It's been a while since I made this comparison, but this is from Sideshow's video. But they don't look that different, to be honest.
I feel
they're
like
shot in identical lighting, so it's not like.
Literally, the only saving grace on this is for me is that I likely wouldn't have it with the face displayed. It would probably have the mask down because I think that's a cooler look for the figure. But exactly, and I really dislike this head sculpt. I don't think that it looks very good at all. It looks like a 2008 or 2010 version of the character, and it's disappointing for how much love Iron Man gets from Hot Toys. This feels like it could have been such an easy win to make this like a really noticeable upgrade. I agree with you, John, in terms of some of the lighting technology. Sure, yeah, like there are some elements of this figure that they really did put the time and money into, but not into that face. And so, I found that to be disappointing because this was one that I was really seriously consider buying, and now I'm looking more at the Mark III as my kind of evolution of suits. But
it's too pricey.
It is really pricey.
Yeah.
Big Dog Pound 1, Woo, the Oxfather, and all of us here in the chat. Equan, this Tony Stark head sculpt looks like Salt Bay.
Big Dog Pound.
Ben, come on, we got to run that back though. We got to run that Woo back. That was weak.
I know. Woo.
There you go.
There we
Love
go.
to see it. No, Ben, I kind of with you on most of this stuff, and I know that. So this is technically the 2.0 or the 3.0.
This is technically a 3.0.
3.0. Okay. So did they ever resize this from the 1.0 to now? Or they've all been kind of the same height? This is something we could get into on the reissue, I'm sure, but
I need to double check the sideshow video, but they let me just pull it up real quick.
Yeah. I think he's the same exact size as the 2.0 at the very least. My point is, I know that this we talked about this last week. I know that this was a shorter suit, and so maybe the sizing is appropriate. But again, in my mind, in the movie, this was a tanking suit. So for him to be kind of a little short king, compared to other Iron Man suits, I don't necessarily use bases always, so I don't want to have to put him on that double-decker base just to have a legitimate size. And so that's the only thing that's really bothering me. And like John said, it's pricey as well. One that I want to add, but I just think that there's too many negatives for me to attempt to add it at full price or if at all. So it looks really nice, but I wish they would have maybe just bumped that height up just a little bit to kind of reflect.
Yeah, it is a tiny bit taller, but not, you're not going to be blown away by the new scale.
Yeah.
Like the Mark III, I mean, it's, between the original diecast Mark III and the new one, I mean, it's noticeable. I
this
think
guy's going to
one's
come
a
up
bit
to
more
like Mark
reserved.
III's chest, huh? It's just going to be, yeah.
But that does make sense though. Like he's not that big in the movie, and it goes back to last week, right? Like, do you want it to feel right? Do you want it to be right? It wasn't a huge suit in the movie because I want to say he's just walking on the boots. Like the armor is just over the toe and like the sort of the top of the foot.
For sure. Yeah. So it might be screen accurate, but for me, it doesn't feel right. The feel is not there, like we said last week.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, in comparison to like that Bane 1.0 versus the 2.0 that just was announced, that being such a noticeable change and upgrade. If I had this version of the Mark II version of this character, I would feel totally happy just keeping that one in my collection and not feeling the pressure to buy this new one at all.
No.
Like, would be no pressure.
That Bane was disgraceful, by the way.
The Bane was disgraceful. What?
Yeah.
I know we missed your take. We missed your take on that last week, John.
I'm sorry. It's okay. We won't hijack it.
Yeah. So in art, we'll talk in art here for a moment.
You should take the car for a drive and give us your thoughts. I'd
wow.
listen. I'd listen
That's
to
not
that.
a bad idea.
I'd listen to that.
In art, introducing the next chapter to the stage now. It's interesting because in art had kind of like we've known that this Harry Potter was coming for a while, and now we have what looks to be the Harry Potter tease. So there's that. But we did get this comment here. I want to say this was from their Facebook group. Thank you for your comment and your feedback. The previous 2022 to 2023 product plan was made collaboratively by InArt and Queen Studios. However, now InArt is running independently, including an independent supply chain, which will surely make for new figure projects. So we've made some changes to the previous Phase 1 product plan, about which we choose not to disclose too much. What remains constant is InArt's determination to bring the best figures possible to our fans and collectors. We'll make an official announcement each time after we decide which figure to create. And that kind of lines up with what Marco was saying a few weeks ago with the Joker figure from the Chinese Odyssey. It wasn't on their product plan. It kind of came out of nowhere. And I believe this comment may have been in a response to that figure's seemingly random announcement. So I'm curious if there's anything that wasn't on their product plan that you guys are like now hoping for, or anything that you don't want them to axe. For me, Legolas, obviously they've made Gandalf and Aragorn, but I feel like that's part of like what's going to be sort of leading us into the full Fellowship. So I hope they don't stop at just those two figures. I want to say they were even looking into Dune stuff, which would have been neat. Though Og Toys did have a license for that in certain markets. Just off the rip, anything you guys can think of that you either do want to see now that they're opening up the prospect of new figures, or want to see them preserve?
With all the kind of shakeups around DC, which I think we'll talk about later, I just would love more Batman villains. Like, take a few of the DC characters off there, like the Mara, or other ones that may not be as applicable moving forward, and give us either from the Batman, from the Dark Knight, even from Batman and Robin, or not Batman and Robin, give us a Freeze, but even Batman Forever. Like, just give us some more Batman's Rogues Gallery would be perfect additions here, in my opinion.
Love that pick.
I know they said that they were going to possibly be doing some video game stuff, and I'd love a really great 6-scale Tomb Raider Lara Croft. That'd be really cool to see. Because other than a couple third-party ones, like there just like doesn't exist, which is really disappointing. So video game characters will be dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying The Last of Us. So if we got either the live action versions of those characters or the video game, I would be super stoked about those. I also hope that they don't necessarily axe their Black Adam. I liked the Black Adam for what it was. It wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, but I did want to get a Black Adam figure in my collection. I don't totally love the Hot Toys representation. I think if it's the only one that we get, I'd still pick it up to have the representation in the collection. But I would be curious to see what Inart could do with Dwayne Johnson's likeness.
With the Sixth Throne too.
Sixth Throne, like they could do some cool shit with it. So I hope they don't axe that guy. I don't care about Mira, obviously, at this point. So
totally agree on The Last of Us. I want Bill and Frank with rooted beards, please.
Bro, absolutely, bro.
Man,
that
was
episode was
episode.
so
no
fucking
spoilers.
good.
Yeah.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah. Let me just double check here on this figure.
I'd like to see Terminator and
Oh my
I'd
god.
like them to take over the Terminator and 89 Batman.
There we
Oh
go.
my goodness, that'd be sweet.
So this is an atrocity. Star Ace Queen Maeve. And I'm glad I double checked because there is pricing now. $349.
$349?
June to August 2023. This
You
somehow
could have Mark 6 or this. Almost, just about.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, just about.
That's what my eyes looked like when I was eating those chocolate toonies at Christmas.
Jesus Christ. This is what that lady that Ben bought the books from looked like.
Hello, would you like to come in and buy these books?
Dude, this is so bad. Like, and obviously, like, I don't think this is the sculptor here that has done bad work. I just think this is honestly Star Ace trying to show more accurately what we will receive after all the backlash from Homelander and Butcher. But man, this is bad. Like, and I don't even know if like a body, or not a body swap, but a head swap would fix this, because I think the outfit's okay, but it's like you would need to probably replace the body and the portrait, and it's just bad. I mean, Queen Maeve, one of the most beautiful women on television. And to do this, it's just bad. And for that price point, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I just don't think that Star Ace should be making these kind of figures, or figures in general. Honestly, this is just this is bad. Like I don't know that I could honestly say a single good thing about this. Like the bullet things look just terrible. The effects look terrible. Like the glass looks like dirty. Like it just, none of this. It's just bad. Like I just don't know.
The phone with the airplane footage is a nice touch, though.
Yeah, credit where credit's
That's
due.
about
it. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, this is just no bueno. It's just not good. And maybe it's like the hair. I don't know, because like the likeness obviously isn't 100%. Best case scenario, it's like 60.
Bro, this is
70.
like 20%. Come on, don't give no 60%. This is 20%.
But like the hair is bad. Like it just doesn't even look good. Like it doesn't look well done. Like, dude, it's your promo. Like, I guess you're right. They want to show you accurately what you're gonna get, but
does it look good for like a
doesn't
Barbie?
make me want to buy
if,
it.
if you saw this as like a Barbie doll, would it be like, okay, this makes sense for like
for like $29? Yeah, like I mean, not fucking $289.
100%.
Dante says, I bought the Butcher from this line and I paid way too much, and the third party looks the same for $100 less. I would almost say it looks better. Man, I was at a store and I saw someone buying the Homelander, and I didn't want to hurt the store because they're open, right? Like they have this figure, they're selling it. Like they even let the guy look at the figure beforehand to make sure he wanted it, because they've heard the issues, and I was just like, fuck, that guy just got bamboozled.
Did he drive after he purchased that? I think you should have called the police.
Sit down.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the fact that this is licensed is probably contributing to why it's so expensive. If there was no license on this and it was third party, it would be almost passable. It's still pretty bad for a licensed product. I'll be curious after the backlash from all these figures if Star Race ends up being able to keep this license. Like, how long do they have to go for with bad reviews before a license even gets pulled from a company, right? So it'd be crazy to see, but it's unfortunate because, like you guys said, she's a badass character. It would be definitely one that I'd want in the collection.
Yeah.
And with some of the Homelanders that we've seen come out, whether that's third party or whatever, have been pretty awesome. And that Homelander, the one that I saw with the 5 head sculpt, I think would look great in comparison to this. So not worth it.
I am trying everything in my power to not buy that because we have the what is it, the Toys era or So Toys Homelander, Johnlander, whatever, coming in from our sponsorship from last year, and it's killing me to not own a Homelander already. So I may bite the bullet and just buy that. I talked to Kid already, and he may have some soon.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah. Put up a poll. Should Zach have intervened in the Star Race purchase? I can't do that. Like, this guy was so happy. Like, he had drove there just to buy that. Like, you know, one, I would hurt the store. Two, like, you know, I'm not trying to be that guy like bringing up unlicensed figures in a store that sells licensed figures. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's a toughie
for sure.
I'm 100%
morally. I was very like. And the guy saw it. He's like, dude, this is awesome. Like, the eyes light up. Like, who am I to like ruin this guy's excitement, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'm 100% there with you because I'm imagining you're talking about our friends over in Universal City.
I'm not confirm nor deny because that's a very specific question.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Because if it was somebody else, like a different store where like I don't know them personally, I would have
a store that might have like different worlds where, you know, other extraterrestrials may be.
Yeah,
like
or maybe like a place with heroes and maybe like some kind of fantasy element, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Like, I have no problem like dogging on a sale. Like, hey, you know what, dude? That figure is fucking garbage tier. You don't waste your money. But like, I've been in the exact same situation where somebody's buying something at this guy's establishment, and I'm like, I need to bite my tongue because like I don't want to hurt the sale. I don't want to hurt their business.
Yeah, and the bottom line for these businesses, like, you know, if there's a customer that wants to buy it, like, who am I to tell them, like,
yeah,
you know,
it's
I don't know.
And he was happy too. He was
happy. That's the point. Like,
That's
if he
true.
like got there and was like, I don't know, like, I felt like he was being pressured, you know, maybe, but
it reminds me of when I told Dean that I was getting the Darth Maul figure, and he was like, "That's nice." That's pretty much all he said. That's good. I was crushed. I was crushed. Okay, I was all excited. I thought I'd share it with you, Dean, and you're like, you hate the character.
Yeah, as long as you like it, like, who cares what I think?
If Dean hates the character,
but I'm saying if you walked up to a guy in a store, he would be crushed.
To be fair, there are a lot of figures that I don't particularly like to think, but I always say objectively, this is a great figure.
That's fair.
yeah.
I would never own it.
You're saying
but
that about this.
objectively-
You're saying that about this figure, right? So we can clip it. Objectively, this is a great figure, right?
No, objectively, this is terrible. This is awful, and it should not come out.
Garbage tier. I like it.
I think we've beaten the dead horse. So Toys.
Oh wow.
Ben, help me out here.
Geralt.
Geralt. Okay, that's where I was going. Geralt of the River.
Geralt of the River.
There we go. I don't know. I don't like the way this looks, if I could be completely honest.
Have you even watched the show?
I got too much more than to watch, Ben.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Take him off the air.
I will.
Kick him
To
out.
be fair, though, I've seen other people that have watched the show also kind of roast the spaghetti hair.
The hair is killing it. It's not good.
I think with a good rooted hair on that, I think this would be amazing. The likeness is there. Like if you took all the hair off, just the portrait is very well done.
Yeah.
Got that nice Superman chin.
Ooh,
The accessories look
head.
fantastic. Look at these clear vials. Like I haven't seen the show. It's got the Voltron necklace. I don't know. It's a lot of things going on here. I don't really know.
Does he not look a little cross-eyed though?
I don't think so. Not
Not
particularly.
necessarily.
I guess
People were saying he looked like that actor from one of those movies.
Oh
The
yeah.
Superman movies, he does.
Funny.
Well, it also says it's coming with an alternate head there, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Ultimate.
Blackening version. Wow.
Are those the Infinity Stones there? Right?
Right. No, in all seriousness, though, I know there's a lot of people that are really excited for this figure, and I'm glad that they're able to add this to the collection. Obviously, like Dean said last week, by the time this comes out, there's going to be a different actor in the role, so that is a bit unfortunate. Perhaps an opportunity there for another company to slide in with a different portrait. But pricing depending, this doesn't look too bad. I think there's a lot of good here, right? I think the armor looks good. I think the accessories look good. The base is the typical So-So Toys like weird hexagon thing. But generally speaking, 2 portraits on a third party, and I guess like an outfit and a half. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I think the only thing really holding this figure back is the hair, and I think honestly, if you just give it a good a good wash of maybe a white paint would solve it, because it's just like there's like almost like too much detail in the hair, and then like the recesses like I don't know, it's harder to explain. I don't have the words. I'm not a wordsmith, guys, but like it just makes the hair look too busy. It's just not great. But other than that, other than the hair, I think they knocked it out of the park. I've seen I think I've only watched 1 season of The Witcher, and it was great. I could not get into season 2. I need to revisit it. Maybe I just got to get past the first few episodes, but I think it's cool. I don't hate it.
It's not my favorite, but it is my least favorite.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, let's move on here. I don't think this is capturing us. Limb Toys, again, just a small little bit of news from the comment section. They're going to make around March. We'll see it. Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us. Now, there's no word yet if this is going to be the live action or the video game. With Limb Toys, I imagine it would be the video game. They've already done some great Arthur Morgan stuff, but they'll be bringing him with features such as the separate rolling eyeballs and magnetic switchable seamless arms. So again, I always mention this, but I feel like third-party stuff lately, I mean, they're really stepping their game up. They're introducing these features that we're seeing on first-party figures, and at qualities that I think are very, very, very tempting, especially if you're wanting a Joel or an Ellie and you've missed the licensed ones, or you may have a chance to get one from the new series. So this is neat, and I guess we'll see what happens with that. Let's see what we got here. Our discussion of the week.
Can I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a side note, but it's regarding The Last of Us. I downloaded, so I had the PS4 Last of Us remastered version on my PS4, and I just got the PS5 around Christmas time. And so I uploaded it, and I was going to play it, and then I realized that the PS5 store was selling The Last of Us Part 1. So I took a look at some YouTube videos to see how they compared, because I was like, I don't want to spend another $80. Shockingly improved. So I downloaded it, spent the money, and I have to say, if you are a Last of Us game fan and you haven't played it in a few years, I honestly think it's worth the $80 upgrade. Like, it is absolutely stunning. They've redone absolutely every texture, character model, like beautiful. I've only put about 2 hours into it so far, but 100% worth it if anybody's out there on the fence, especially if they're enjoying the Last of Us show so far.
Nice. Yeah, I'm waiting for that to go on a bit more of a sale. I replayed the first one the remastered version right before the second one came out. So looking forward to playing part 1
It's real
again.
good, man. It's real nice.
Nice.
Sorry, Zach, go ahead.
Moving on. So this was actually a really great topic by Sean Usby. Normie curiosity. And essentially, we have people that come to our homes and our friends that kind of ask, like, what we do for fun or what we collect, or, may see our collection. And you often have to explain, like, what this is, right? And I'm curious how you guys explain it, or maybe if you guys want to share frequently asked questions that you get. And in the chat as well, if you guys have anything that you'd like to add, we'll definitely read out some comments. For me, the way that I've always explained it, when people ask about our podcast, is like, what do you guys talk about? And it's like, well, like, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, a lot of those movies have a lot of different characters, And there's companies that make scaled down versions of those characters that are really high end, with like real accurate paint and tailoring and everything, and they're kind of expensive, and that's kind of how I like the primer that I give for people, when I'm talking to them about what we talk about. And the question I always get is, how expensive are they? How fragile are they? Where can I buy them? There's a video that we did on our channel where it was years ago. Steven and Shauna, and his wife Shauna, they came to my house, and it's I think it's titled like Non-Collectors Review Figures. And at that time, Steven, he's a big collector now, but he wasn't. And they were both like looking at, I think it was like 3 or 4 figures that I had, and kind of giving their thoughts on them and like messing with the articulation, kind of looking at the paint and the sculpt. And it's a really kind of fun, like random video, but it is to me it's really interesting seeing people that don't ever handle these, to watch them handle, because they're so careful, right? Like they're so worried things are going to break, or like they're so impressed, like wow, like the level of detail in the eyes, the level of detail in the guns, or the little armor chipping. It's really nice to see, and I'm curious if you guys have experienced that, like how people come to my house and they'll walk in this room and they're like, wow, like this is so cool, like I haven't built Lego since I was a kid, but like this is awesome. And it's a nice feeling. Like when I was younger, I used to collect, and I was always so worried to like bring my friends to my room. Like I never had people over, basically, because I was so like weirded out about like being that kid that's like still collecting toys, right? Now as an adult, I don't give a damn, and I love showing this off. And I'm wondering if you guys have ever had that apprehension or any of those experiences.
Yeah, I think just about everybody kind of has the same reaction, like, why? I'm like, well, it's what I enjoy. Like, that's what I like doing. And they kind of think it's silly. And then those same friends will come over and all they do is look at the collection, and they will stand in front of my DTOFs and like look at things, and I'm like, yeah, like this is why I like it, why I enjoy it. Like they represent some part of, whatever it is that I love, and I can, appreciate it on more than like, I'm not going to pop in Final Fantasy VII and play the whole goddamn, 60-hour game every week, but sometimes I just want to, look at Cloud or Eris or Tifa or
if you
whatever
put
it
Elden
is.
Ring down, sometimes you might actually have the time. Just put it out there.
Hey, actually, big Elden Ring news today, by the way. I'll talk to you later, Ben.
Hang on, let me get this comment here. Mr. Musashi says, been listening in the background since the start. You guys make a rough day better. Thank you, CW. Mr. Musashi, that comment made my day.
Musashi.
Thanks for
It's
the
been a
kind
rough
words,
day on our end, and that's a
on
really nice
our
comment.
end too, yeah. So what a
Thanks, buddy.
What a sweetheart.
Look at that. Cuervo, saw your room, Zach, and it looked awesome. Well done. I feel the same way, Zach, the apprehension. We also have Dante says, I'm cool with showing off my collection, but I don't go out of my way to show people. My wife, who does not collect, is always trying to show it off. Yeah, that's the same with me. And Rob, this is a great comment here. They're much worse habits. 100%.
I was about to say that exact same thing.
Go to the bar and like fucking just throw money down the toilet.
Yeah,
if you do that, I'm not saying that I
feel attacked.
Whatever
right now,
you do, right?
Yeah, I have a
true.
buddy, and he kind of was dogging on me because he's like, well, you spend all this money on figures. I'm like, well, it's the same thing with you. You like novelty beers, right? Like limited batch run beers, and you buy that and you enjoy it, and maybe they only release that beer once a year or maybe once ever, and it's like you have it, you enjoy it, and then it's gone. I get to keep enjoying Boba Fett on the statue every day for however long I own it. Like, it's just whatever your vice is. Like, if you want to enjoy a beer, that's totally cool. If you want to enjoy a figure, that's fucking awesome too. Like, whatever it is that you like to do, who am I to judge, and who are you to judge? So
if I want to sit
I
here and
I've
comb my
definitely
doll's
had
hair.
Wait, what'd you say?
If I want to sit here and brush my doll's hair, then that's just
Yeah.
what I enjoy doing.
If I want to sit here in my boxers and sand my N1 while watching season 1 of X-Files, God damn it,
thought I
I'm going to
smelled
do
cabbage.
it.
Beautiful
Yeah.
life.
I will just say, most people who've
Jesus
given me any kind of guff about it are usually the ones that are the most interested about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally have had that experience where it's like friends that were like talking smack about like, oh, wow, you collect these dolls and whatever. You could literally call them whatever you want. I don't care. And then they come over here and like, whoa, these are crazy.
Exactly.
Like kind of mesmerized. But like we talk about the apprehension and like Gigi will be like, well, why are you like ashamed in any way that you collect? It's like, no, I'm not. It's not that I'm ashamed. It's just like, it is a hobby for me and for my friends who enjoy doing it. And I don't have to share that with everyone. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm like trying to hide the fact, but it's just not something that I tell people right away because I don't like the judgment, because it's like, it's just a hobby that makes me happy and you don't have to understand it at all. You know, it's just something that I enjoy doing. And yeah, you may think of it as a waste of money, but that's fine. I don't care what you think about it, again, because it makes me happy.
You're not spending their money, so they don't have to worry
That's
about
right. That's right. How about you guys?
Yeah, so for me, it was interesting. I again, like I mentioned earlier, I started with Hot Toys and then I switched to Lego figures for a really long time. I collected tons of minifigures, and I would have these kind of little displays in my apartments. And then when I started dating Shauna, she's so matter of fact and blunt that I was nervous about telling her that I collect, because I literally had no idea what she would say. And she ended up going in my closet the one day randomly to grab a sweater or a hoodie, and she saw the DX12 Batman box up top. So she asked what it was. I pulled it down, showed her, and she thought it was really cool. And she ended up buying me my Deadpool 2 figure a couple months later for my birthday. So that kind of really opened up the door for me in terms of how much I collect Hot Toys now. But in terms of explaining it to the normies, as you guys said, somebody mentioned it's like, my wife wants to show the collection more than I do, and I honestly I feel that, like, we'll have people over and she'll be like, yeah, like, let's go down and we'll show the Ben's man cave. And I always explain it to those people. Carlos, thank you, my friend. I don't like showing it off to people or anyone online. That's for me, not for anyone else, but to each their own. Totally appreciate that. And I feel that way to a point. I explain my collection as it's kind of like my nostalgia room. Like, anything that's in here, I don't just collect for the sake of collecting. Anything has some level of nostalgic value to me. Even bringing these Animorphs books in today, such a weird thing for me to buy for $50, but like, it gave me so many memories. I'm so excited to read through some of them and just, like, again, have something that means something to my growing up and my childhood and all of the things. And it reminds me of Christmases back in the day with my mom and like stuff like that, right? So at the end of the day, I try not to justify it too much. I've noticed recently the one way that I try to justify it to people that I feel like are judging me, I'll say, well, like, we don't have kids, like, we're not planning on having kids, so like, I've got extra spending money. But like, that doesn't make a difference. I know, like, of tons of friends, you guys included, that have kids, and that's not even a good justification for it. And I've tried to stop myself from saying that, because I realize I'm trying to justify my spending when it's like, I don't really need to. Like John said, like, it's not their money I'm spending, so who cares, right? So and I've ended up making some of the best friends that I've ever made in my entire life. You guys are 100% included in that statement. From collecting, not from the outside world, but like from this world. And so for that, honestly, it's brightened it up, and now my work friends see my random figure drop-offs at work, because I always get them delivered there, so I don't miss them.
That's awesome, Ben.
Not the real world. This is the shadow
beautiful.
realm here.
You'll have to see it.
That's beautiful. I think that there has been some great comments here. Carlito says, my wife is supportive even though she doesn't understand it. She tells me there are worse things I could be doing. Thule says our collections are under no obligations to make any sense to anyone but ourselves.
That's right.
Gigi says Marco told me today that he could have a side piece, and then I should be happy that he's at home talking about his dollies. That is true.
Yeah, I
He's
fumbled
a
the
very
bag. I was like,
attractive man, honestly.
she has all this time at school. I could totally be going out, and I'm over here talking about dolls, but makes me happy.
My man. Sam Gist, I just put a whole new insulation value to my house by putting like 100 art boxes in my attic. Tremble says, you can say the same thing about sneakerheads. You like what you like. Don't shit in my yard unless it somehow affects your life, which it doesn't. Slifer says, it's funny having people judge when they have zero hobbies or things that they truly enjoy. Be confident and fuck the haters. Dante says, what actually got me back into collecting is having kids. We did it together. I told them how much I enjoyed comics and baseball cards as a kid, and we decided to collect together.
That is cool.
Yeah,
That's real cool.
These are all really great responses, and I appreciate everyone that shared their stories and you guys as well. Just a friendly reminder, you guys can get $10 off your next purchase on 1/6 kit using code CW10. That's CW10, the number 10. And yeah, it's valid on your first purchase only, but it's been quite a few things I've been looking at to use my $10 code on. And boys, we have hot seat now. Let's take a look. See, we're gonna do things a bit differently today, and I cleared this with the boys beforehand. But rather than having it where final Oxperty is sort of like if Dean has a question, it's his question until such a time that the timer runs out. When he has the question, I will showcase the question, or in this case, the photo. And any of the boys in the private chat, they will put a dot. I can see you guys with your dots already, testing those out. Whichever dot I see in the private chat first will be the dot that will be the person that okay. Don't just push dots.
Best way for you to do it though is draw a line after every question.
Okay, good. Okay,
yeah.
good. Perfect, John. John's worked out this.
Yes, it's
been the line. Okay, so no one typed anything. So let's look at the.
This guy actually wrote the word line.
What
a savage!
A line. Okay, well, because Marco put 40 fucking periods.
I usually put a line, but that's actually smart to just type out a line.
Now,
there you go.
Dean with 4 points, Marco with 6, John with 5, and Ben with 1.
Damn, I'm really shitting
But
the bed.
before you go, but be clear. If you buzz in and get the answer wrong, you lose the points.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
and I also want to remind you, when you buzz in, you need to have the answer ready. It's not buzz in and you sit there for 30 seconds and think about it. Like, it's buzz in, answer, boom, right or wrong. Now, Marco, you are in the lead with 6 points. You have a 1-point question, a 2-point question, a 3-point question, and a 4-point question. Now, what I'm going to do is show you a photo of an accessory. Your job is to tell me which character that is from. I do not need the specific movie, but I do need the character name.
So we can all steal this?
Anyone can steal this. So that's what the dots and the lines.
After Marco goes.
Nope. When Marco's, I'm going to pull up the photo and then the dots. So everyone be ready on the private chat with the dots.
Wow.
Okay, so Marco, 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, or 4 points.
I hope it's not a Feis and Dong.
Let's go with the 2-point question.
All right, 2 points. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, I got the question up, waiting for the periods and the
hell is that?
A lot.
Looks like an eyebrow.
2 points.
This is 2 points. This is super easy.
Is this a hair tampon?
All right, I'm gonna give you guys
figure?
okay. Ben has chimed in.
Is it Bilbo Baggins' cane?
That is incorrect. Ben
This
is
is Hot Toys
Bilbo
or
doesn't
anything?
wear a king.
Yeah, these are.
He doesn't have
yeah.
a little walking stick.
Hold on, let him say.
Hang on. This is -1 points for Ben.
-1
yeah, these are all Hot Toys.
These are all Hot Toys.
I tried.
Yep.
Should I guess? I have a guess, but forget it.
You'll
mean,
lose
you have
2 points if you guess.
All right.
How many points am I at?
We're gonna call it here.
Yeah,
This is
just call it.
Yoda's staff.
Oh wow, I was about to say
Damn.
Black Widow's like ponytail or something.
Yeah.
I was
Oh
close.
no, these are
close.
actual accessories. These aren't like a part of like.
I should have
this
only
is the
lost a half
button.
point for that. I knew it was a cane
Okay.
of some sort.
Let's see. John, you get to. Actually, Marco loses those 2 points too, right? Because he didn't guess it.
I didn't guess.
How
at
does
all,
Jeopardy?
though.
How does Jeopardy
No,
work?
Marco
If
doesn't.
I-
Marco
Oh,
doesn't.
okay,
lose it,
okay.
no.
Yeah.
Okay,
It isn't
you're
lose it.
correct. It's been a while since I watched Jeopardy.
But normally it would be like I choose it, and then if I don't answer, then I lose points. But the way that you've chosen to do it, I didn't answer. So
You also
okay,
have to answer
perfect.
in the form of a question if it's technically
okay,
Jeopardy.
you fucking
but-
guy.
And,
Okay,
and,
John.
and if let's say it goes Marco, Ben, John, or whatever in the lines, you follow that order after if they get it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go. Oh, what
Yeah,
am
of
I
course.
turn?
Okay, so John. So, you have 1, 3, and 4.
Let's go with a 3.
Okay, 3. Let me pull that one up for you. For 3 points. Ben Thomas has chimed in first on the periods.
Oh, that's so easy.
It's from the Joker from the Michael Keaton movie.
You
from
are
the
correct.
Batman. Yep.
Ben sitting at 2 points, getting back on the board, baby. Actually, you'd be at 1 point because you were at -1 point. There we go, Ben. Looking at this, it is Dean the Dream Martin's turn to select his points.
Okay. Which ones are left?
You have 1 and 4 left.
I'm playing it safe and going 1 point. I'm not losing.
All right. And remember, periods in the private chat, please. For this accessory from this figure. I have Dean the Dream Martin as first.
Sketch.
Harley Quinn.
That is correct. You get 1 point. Dean with 5 points on the board. Let me just update the banner here. I'm sorry for those watching in
wicked
audio.
gun.
It's not. This isn't particularly
That's a real
entertaining.
gun. This is the.
That looks awesome.
Okay, Ben. You get the 4-point question, and
I mean,
again,
I have
anyone can
nothing-
steal it.
I have nothing to lose.
Anyone can. Well, I mean, you don't have to answer it, but
did-
are you
I thought
guys
I-
ready? Get ready in the private
If
chat.
you don't answer, you don't lose points, Ben.
Yeah,
Oh,
is
I
everyone
thought-
ready in the
oh,
private chat?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Wait a second. Hold on. I fucked up.
I thought
So when I asked the question, like when he got that Joker mask, I could have responded right away.
No. Anyone can respond. Like as soon
I know,
as I
but you
show
go
it,
on points. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going in the order of
In
points.
the
for,
dots.
like,
That's fine. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, 3.
I pressed that
2.
button super fast too.
I know.
Dean was on.
Well, yeah.
It's lags. That's why.
Dean, I got you first.
Darth Maul.
That is incorrect. You lose 4
Oh
points.
no!
John?
I don't fucking know.
Well, you put the button. What do you mean you don't know?
Oh. That's negative points.
This is
That's
the.
definitely
either.
Yeah, that's negative points, John. You're at
Hold on.
1 point.
Hold on.
Well, there's no hold on. It's like
There
you gotta
is.
be
Let me
ready to
answer.
go.
This is from the hot toy RoboCop.
No, you're at 1 point.
Fucking hate you.
If anyone else wants to answer, then be quick about it.
I have
That's
no
definitely
idea.
a droid of some kind.
Okay,
looks
I'm
like a
gonna
droid.
call it here. This is from the Sand Trooper.
I fucking
He comes-
own that trooper too. Fuck.
Bunch of casuals. Damn.
Okay, now we have double Oxparty, so get ready. There's one more question. You can make up some points here potentially. I think
We have
Marco
to write.
may,
We have to write on something, right? Or do we just write it in the private chat?
I honestly don't. Marco basically can not lose. Like he just puts 0 because everyone has 1 point.
No, I think if you make this one worth 7 points.
What the fuck? You just gonna change the rules?
Yeah, what? No,
No,
this
you
is
gotta
final-
make it. The
Well, no,
song
because
worth-
if you do that, then he wins the whole month. Just leave it at that, right? Then we end it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
but
already
none
has won.
Yeah, so he's
It's
won.
final. It's final.
Okay, let's just
the
do it for
final
fun.
Yeah, let's just
He
do it
won.
for fun.
He won. Yeah. of course.
Okay, everyone mute, and I want you guys to chime in. Whoever, like, just mute and just unmute and just yell your name.
What the fuck?
Go ahead, John. Go ahead and mute for me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Wrong button. Wrong button.
All right,
Hold on.
3, 2, 1.
John.
John.
Dean.
Blade?
No.
You hate to see it.
Alita.
Yes, Dina.
Alita, my ass.
Okay,
I thought it
knew
was
that
Blade,
one.
too.
I knew that
Oh,
one.
that
too.
was
I
good.
wasn't sure.
Okay, I will be honest.
good.
This in my head was much better. I realized for the audio listeners that was probably rough, but Usby had sent me a picture of an accessory, and he's like, "Can you print this?" And I don't know that I can, but I was like, "Dang, this would be such a fun trivia to like just show a photo and they have to identify the figure." So, yeah. So for those that listen,
Can you show the figure
have-
holding the accessory next time?
No.
Oh, then you would know. What the fuck? Then you would know.
Next time,
Whose
Zach,
green
you,
hand is this?
That's
next
pretty
time you
good.
should
I
burp.
like that.
Next time you should verbally describe the item, and we have
Well,
to
you
guess
guys were
based
too
on your
fast. You guys
description.
were Oh, I like
it. It's orange. It
kinda
sucks
like
air.
Wow. Okay, so for Final Jeopardy, we had Harley Quinn's big old pistol. Dean says this is a real gun. I can't confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
We had Hot Toys Yoda Attack of the Clones, his wooden staff, which is actually different. I didn't know that. It was different than the Empire staff.
Looks like an eyebrow.
The Joker DX from Batman,
Yes, sir.
the Keaton movies, his respirator. We had the special edition Star Wars A New Hope Sand Trooper drone. It's the only figure you can get this drone in. And then Alita's sword, Damascus steel sword.
It's the Chippa Firearms Rhino. That gun kicks ass.
Appreciate you guys in the comments. Sam Giss said he loves it. Let's move on here with a little bit of news before we end the show. Yeah, Marco, congratulations. You get your $25 bonus, and you get a minute on the seat, hot seat next.
Golf clap, yes. Golf clap, yes.
How dare you? Now, Jeff Gunn, Jim Gunn, Jeff Gunn, I don't even know this guy's name.
James Gunn. Yeah.
James Gunn, thank you. Jesus Christ. It's been one of those days. They announced their plan for the DC Extended Universe going forward, and they have it split into TV shows and movies. TV shows, we have Waller, Lanterns, Creature Commandos, Booster Gold, Paradise Lost. For movies, we have Superman Legacy, The Brave and the Bold, Swamp Thing, The Authority, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. So definitely a clean slate that they've done. We've known about that for a while. This is the first time we're kind of seeing the project roadmap, if you will, for the TV shows and the movies. I don't really have too much skin in the game on any of these. Maybe Swamp Thing, I think that sounds really interesting, but I think for me it's going to have to really see what this is all about, because they're still, I want to say they're still doing the Flash movie, and I just saw the trailer for the brand new Shazam yesterday, so it's hard for me personally to get invested in these DC movies that are currently coming out when there's also like 10 new things that have been announced that aren't up for, don't have anything going with them yet. So I'm curious if there's anything with you guys that sticks out here, or if this is a kind of a wait and see.
For me, the movies do a little bit more than the TV shows. I don't feel like I'm totally stoked about a Waller TV show, but I feel like if done right, it could actually be really good, because she's so cutthroat. Amanda Waller.
Oh. And if it's a continuation
that's
of
gonna be good.
Peacemaker,
Suicide.
right? You know you're gonna
like
love
she
it.
could be a super cutthroat TV show if done well. On the movie side, I think The Brave and the Bold's an interesting choice. I don't love Damian Wayne, to be honest. He's not my favorite. He's not my favorite Robin, and I always found like that series kind of the campiest. So again, because it's James Gunn, I feel like he could do it really well. But it could also go the other way and just be a little cringy. So it's hard to say. The Authority, I feel like I read The Authority in comics like years ago and remember thinking that it was an interesting take, but I don't remember much about the characters. In terms of Superman Legacy, I think like just with everything that's happened with Cavill lately and him being, kind of removed as Superman, I hope that fans don't take the movie down in terms of like hate for it. I hope that everybody still gives it a chance if it's a good movie. If it's terrible, let's call it terrible. I'm good with that. But I'm willing to give it a fresh eye and a fresh take and feel excited about the prospect of a new Superman film. And hopefully they do it well. So for the rest, don't know much about the rest, to be honest.
And I will say there might be a lot of misconceptions here, because Lane is saying it's too bad that Peacemaker is being canceled for the Waller show. Actually, I think James Gunn came out and said that Waller will be kind of in between season 1 and season 2 of Peacemaker. So it's not either or, they're doing both. I think there's like a bit of murkiness still. Like, I appreciate they're giving us a roadmap, but we know there's going to be Elseworld stories. Like, there's going to be The Batman Part 2, which will be 2025, I believe. It's still like a few years out. We know that the Joker film, Joker Part 2, is coming out, or whatever it's called, the musical. And then we don't know how like The Flash, and I think Nicolio is kind of saying Blue Beetle, all of those. We don't necessarily know how that fits into all of this overall. So they're giving us, a bit of a roadmap, but still not quite sure what old pieces we're bringing over, how they're going to mesh with the new pieces. But I have a lot of faith in James Gunn based on what I saw with Peacemaker, and obviously what he's done with Guardians. That he's going to, get this ship steered in the right direction. And I like that they're doing a different take with Batman to kind of differentiate the Batman they have. But John and Dean, what do you guys think?
I'm not a big DC fan to begin with, so I have like zero expectations for any of this stuff. I am disappointed to see Superman on the list, Superman Legacy, because they did our boy so wrong.
But they've got to lead with Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, right? Like that's their bread and butter.
Like, you're not technically wrong, but I would also like to see, like, just because every movie we've gotten is an iteration of those characters, whether it be Keaton or, what was it, Superman Returns, I forget the actor's name, or if you know what, give me some like nobodies and then have these great characters like Batman and Superman come in late to where they're almost like myths, you know, like, oh, is Batman even fucking real? And then he shows up like 6 movies later and kicks everyone's ass. You're like, holy shit, that was awesome. I wouldn't hate that either. You know what I mean?
You're crazy.
But yeah, I have zero expectations on any of this stuff. So I couldn't really give a critique one way or the other.
I need them to step up with the brave and the bold and just get, what's his name again?
Damian
Affleck. Just get Affleck out of our memories and full refresh.
Come on, he was a fun Batman. I mean, not fun. But he was.
He was too Tony Stark.
Cool.
No,
yeah.
They had him way too funny. It's like Batman's not.
He was
for Justice League for sure. But
yeah,
not
I
in
wasn't
DES.
just a fan. This is a hard reset. It seems like they want to go down the route of Marvel, a map, a roadmap to success. It will fit. I'm not saying it's going to fail. I'm saying it was successful for Marvel for the first 3 phases. This 4th phase is an absolute road travesty, but there's potential here. This is their shot. Like, if they don't do it now, I think I'm just going to lose all hope for DC because this is the shot. It's cool to see the Swamp Thing. Anything Batman, I'm for. I think choosing the Damian story to see Damian in it, that's going to be cool because we haven't really seen that in film. I know what was it? What was it that we saw? The Nolan trilogy kind of at the end alluded to, oh, what's your name, Robin? Okay, but that was more of like a love story.
Such an
that was like that was tingles. You ever get
I literally like hand gasped.
Yeah,
in the
that was
theater.
insanity.
I rolled my eyes so hard the person next to me could feel it. That was just
how dare you?
Can I ask you guys this again? Because I'm not versed in the DC worlds. Is there any place that Punchline would fit in onto any of this?
Yeah, why not? Why not Brave and Bold? Like, that's kind of forward in the future, right? Like, we would have seen a lot of iterations of these characters.
Dean's like, I'm the biggest fan of DC.
You won't see it anytime soon. I don't think you'll see
I just really like Alexis K.
anytime soon. But
I did read that Damian is going to be like, he's been raised by assassins and coming back, and now he's like crazy, and Batman has to kind of deal with that. So like, that could be an interesting take on the Robin character for sure. Not just being like the little campy sidekick, but
but to Marco's point, whoever they're going to cast in these roles, in my opinion, shouldn't be a celebrity that we know. It should just be a completely fresh meat, fresh acting that we're not used to, and wow us that way. It shouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I want to see some people I haven't seen before. Like, I mean, actually, I was going to say I like Superman as much as the next guy, but that's not true. I don't really like Superman at all. So it's like, give me someone else. Give me something interesting to watch. So like the Swamp Thing, that sounds like it's fucking cool.
And the Swamp Thing is Elseworlds too, so it's like it's not even tied into the larger universe. They can just do whatever they want with it.
Swamp Thing will be good. Yeah.
So I think that kind of going back to what John was saying, when they went for this Marvel-esque kind of formula, they rushed the fuck out of it. It was like 2 movies, and then all of a sudden the whole Justice team was together. It's like it took like 10 goddamn movies for the Marvel to even get anywhere close to that. So I think if they take their time, show us stories that we haven't seen before, I think this has the potential of being cool.
Yeah.
But again, I have no expectations whether it's going to be great or bad. So I think I'll be pleasantly surprised either way.
Call me psycho, but I would really love for them to start from scratch and follow the Marvel route.
Yeah, but it takes time, John. They can't just rush this shit like in a year. It has to.
Where would
Marvel? Like Marvel took like
10 years.
Fucking 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're doing here. That's what he said. He's doing. This is a 10-year plan. It's like the first chapter. But I'm saying I'd like to have them start from scratch and okay, Batman, start from scratch. Here's his story and grow him that way.
Didn't we kind of do that with the Batman? Or do you think they're going to cast someone completely different?
It's someone different. It's someone different. The Batman is an out of world, like a separate world, Elseworld. Yeah, that's
really that's disappointing.
No, that's
so
cool,
we're
though,
never going to see Pattinson again.
No, you're going to see him in the Batman
2025, the Batman Part 2, but it's Elseworlds.
But it's different. It's a different world.
Universe.
That's
I know it's confusing.
The dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire.
It's like the Joker.
It's better
Phoenix.
to do it this way. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's like if you had a bunch of fucking Iron Man movies, but they had nothing to do with the MCU. It's like what?
Think about how cool that would be though if you could have like a dark and gritty Iron Man story that like wasn't hampered by setting up the next Avengers film.
Yeah, you're not.
It's kind of like you can kind of have your cake.
Iron Man 3
would
bro.
never allow that.
Yeah, right. And just one last point. I think OG fan, you brought the comment up about is this a hard reboot? And it's not necessarily, right? They said that they're going to use Flashpoint. No. I think it's the messaging's a bit murky, but they're going to use Flashpoint to kind of reset the universe. But there's still going to be these vestiges of the Zack Snyder verse that kind of carry over. So it's not completely clear. It's not like a super hard reboot just yet.
So the Flash movie is still coming out.
Still coming out. We're still going to get Flash. We're still going to get Aquaman. We're going to get Blue Beetle, and someone help me out. What's the fourth one this year? Oh, Shazam.
Shazam.
But they're not going to sewer those movies before they come out. They're not going to say, "Hey, these have no bearing on the future of these movies." But still watch them anyways. Like, I'd be surprised if that didn't change after the
let me ask you this,
especially if they have a bad reception.
Would that affect your collecting of these figures from these movies?
That's what I've been telling Marco for a long time. It's like, bro, why would anyone, like, if InArt shows us a Batfleck, it's like, why would I even, like, by the time this shit comes out,
why would you buy a Batfleck?
Well, not only that, but it's like, if we're going to get Aquaman 3 or Aquaman 2 movie, but it has nothing to do with it moving forward, why even buy an Aquaman 2?
If that ends up being the case.
100%.
It's hard to know. I think if the movie film still resonates with you, then still buy it. I mean,
that's true.
I buy them for the character, not necessarily even for the film representation. If I think it's a cool character, I'd buy it for the collection. But
you're right. You're right.
You're right, Ben.
Crazy as it sounds, like there's a lot of love for this Zack Snyder verse, right? Like those characters, even though the films are hit and miss, I think like I'll still like look at the characters I have in my collection fondly. Even though we're getting new iterations, it's just kind of like the Nolan trilogy. It's like that'll be done.
It's a story.
We'll be on to the next one.
I didn't love Batfleck, but the Nightmare Batman that I have behind me with the black suited Superman is a badass figure. I'm happy I have it in the collection. Like,
there you go. Shit. Put that daft Toys coat, Ben. Anyways, you want to read that comment, Ben?
Those audio listeners were trying to figure out what John was doing in his couch there. So Tremble Death says, "Nope, I'd affect collecting. I buy figs I like. Doesn't matter for me, at least if the character and the comic's gone. Is no longer relevant or not."
Sorry,
I can't read that fast, Zach, on the spot.
I'm sorry.
I've got kids' books beside me. Okay, I'm working on my skills.
Got 1 through 5.
Sound it out.
Sound it out.
Dude, I need that clip of that opening. That was fucking funny. The whole book story. So our blockbuster movie night movie was Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery, a spoof of 1960s spy films in which cryogenically preserved secret agent Austin Powers is revived in the present day. Once synonymous with style, Powers soon realizes that his vocabulary, fashion sense, and attitude to women are hopelessly out of date. He enlists the help of decidedly modern women to help him adjust to the 1990s and vanquish his old adversary, Dr. Evil. This movie is an all-time fucking banger. An amazing movie. Mike Myers is just a star in this film. He's hilarious. The flash mob in the beginning, forever burned into my memory. The friggin' dudes in the suits doing cartwheels in the street. This movie is just iconic. I remember when my dad first showed us this movie, and My mom did not like that, but man, we love this movie. We quoted this movie. In my mind's eye, it's been a while that I've seen this. Trumbull does. I think we've all seen this. We just were reviewing it as our movie of the week. In my mind's eye, I had remembered vaguely that Vern Troyer Mini-Me was in this movie. I didn't realize he was just in the second film and the third one. Yeah. And so I kept waiting for him to show up, and he didn't. But man, this is such a fucking banger movie. One of my favorite films of all time. A lot of jokes when I was like much younger that I didn't understand that now I can fully appreciate. And this is an awesome film. Elizabeth Hurley, absolute babe, one of the most beautiful women on God's green earth. I follow her Instagram, and it is still hitting for me.
Yeah,
suck it to me, baby.
Yeah, this movie.
Man. That whole hot tub scene is hilarious. When his leg is like cranking up. He's like, oh, yeah, that's the spot.
That's the spot right there.
What's her name? She's got funny.
A lot of vagina.
A lot of vagina. Yeah, this movie is. I remember like vividly when this came out. I was definitely too young for it. But dear Lord, it's so. Zach, it's funny that we picked this movie because that same day, Zach had made a comment. What the fuck were we doing?
We were playing D&D, and you were like, you had said something. You're like, "That's not my bag," and I was like, "Yeah, that's not my bag, baby." And you were like,
"Yeah, the 100% is my bag." Yeah, so it reminded me of this movie, so Zach picked it.
Yeah, that's why I picked it. Yeah,
it's so funny, and like honestly, like the series as a whole is so funny. I mean,
so many fucking incredible characters, like Fat Bastard and Mini-Me.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Evil and
dude, this scene. I think it's
two.
Who's the guy that throws the shoe? You threw a shoe.
Oh, what's that?
I forgot his name. Damn.
Or fucking what's his face with the mole?
Task.
I want to cut it off and chop it up.
Random task. Random task.
There you go.
Yeah. The scene where he's
instead of odd job.
The scene where he's like sneaking in and he's hiding by a fountain, and then he eats asparagus. Yeah. And it's like, why the fuck is that in the movie? But it's because it's fucking stupid and absurd and funny.
That's not a woman. That's a man.
Fook me and fook you.
Fook you.
I always feel
easy, Ben. Calm down.
Fook you.
Jesus.
I
always feel so bad when he's kind of realizing, like, damn, like there's that like somber moment where he's like, I look like a fool, like I don't fit in, like he has like all these tendencies from his era,
the 70s,
and now he's brought into the 90s. They're like taking pictures of him, and he thinks like, oh, like this is great, and they're like just kind of making fun of him. I felt so bad.
The fembots?
Even when I was a child. Oh yeah, with the fucking little things that come out of their boobs. Oh man!
I want a frickin' shark with a laser beam attached to its head. I think it's the second movie, but with Tom Cruise, where he's Austin Powers. It's always so fucking funny to me. But yeah, this movie is just comedy gold. I mean, like it doesn't really matter when you watch this movie, whether it's when it came out or today, where it's like even like outdated. Like it's still fucking hilarious. Like. There's nothing, at least to me, that was like overtly offensive where you're like, oh, that could be problematic. It's like, it's just funny. It's just funny comedy.
It's not mean-spirited.
And it's about a guy who's very problematic and out of time, right? So that's what it kind of like walks that line of like, okay, it's intentionally like he's inappropriate.
Right. Like a parody on, exactly.
Like a 007 spoof.
Yeah, but an idiot. Yeah. Just a fantastic movie. I love it.
7.10 out of 7 out of 10 on IMDb, 73% Rotten Tomatoes, 4.4 out of 5 on Amazon. I grew up with this. This came out in 97. I was 6? I think I watched it later on, obviously, but I grew up with Austin Powers, and we used to have I remember if it was VH. I think it was DVD at that time. We used to watch this all the time, my sister and I. This is a classic. The shout out to what's his name? Fuck. He's Canadian too. Mike Myers playing everybody. Dr. Evil.
Oh, amazing.
In the second one, Fat Bastard. Like he did an incredible job. This is comedy at its best. when he's got out of the cryo and he's in the washroom peeing and it goes
Taking the piss. It's like fucking 4
It's a
minutes long.
lifetime. No, this is classic. If you haven't watched this, you need to take a weekend and sit down and just watch the 3 of them. I liked 1 and 2 the best. The third one it's like everything. Once you get to the third,
Yeah, of
the
course.
third it dies down. But you need to watch these, especially the first one at least, because it's fantastic.
Yeah, I went into this like it's probably been maybe 10 years since I watched this. John, I was the same as you. I would watch this with my sisters like nonstop. We played this VHS out. And so I was like, okay, it's been like a while. It probably doesn't hold up. I forgot that I like know this movie by heart. Like can freaking say every freaking line. And it still holds up. It's still a terrific movie. Like every scene is a banger. All the cameos like Will Ferrell. We got Seth Green? Right,
Yeah,
Tom Arnold. There's just like so many incredible cameos, so many incredible characters and lines. And again, like I was expecting it to be a lot more problematic, and there is some stuff that is borderline. But because he's intentionally supposed to be, out of time, like I think it still works and still holds up. And just incredibly freaking funny. Frau Farbissina, is that her name?
Yeah,
Might
that's
be
her
the,
name.
Yeah.
The fucking best. The Lucky Charms. Come on.
Yeah.
Just so many absolute banger scenes and jokes that are just so stupid. In some ways, the big boy never left, sir. But yeah, I just
He's always
I
been
can't.
providing fantastic meals at affordable prices.
Oh man, I just cannot say enough good things about this
Is
movie.
that a Johnson?
Gigi, for a fact that I watched this, you were on a call loud as hell. I almost told you turn it down. I'm watching Austin Powers. But
Wow.
anyways, yeah, I'm very happy to have revisited this and want to watch the rest of the trilogy at this point. Although I know this is kind of the peak. Is it The Spy Who
Yeah, I think that's the second one. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then Goldmember's the third. So yeah, I kind of want to finish off the trilogy. but-
Goldmember is.
I love go
Goldmember has one of my favorite quotes in it.
smoking a pancake.
His dad, he's like, there's 2 things I can't stand. People who can't respect other people's cultures and the Dutch.
So good.
That's where I get that line.
I quote that so much, dude.
I thought I
It's
smelled
so
cabbage.
wild.
Remember when it's when Troy comes out of I think it's the second one or third.
That type of thing's not my bag.
Bro, this whole
Baby.
series, dude. Oh my god.
They were talking
And
about
the
doing a
book.
4th.
They
'Cause remember the Super Bowl? Super
yes,
Bowl commercial.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be incredible. Now, Dean, you get to pick the movie of the week. I don't know that Ben has gone yet, so we'll let Ben get his in as well. But what are you picking for Blockbuster Movie of the Week? And we'll have to make sure the
Don't
Canadians
choose the
can watch it.
Southman.
And
please.
first of all, Ben did fucking go because he picked that horrible Blue Eyes movie.
Yeah,
No,
he
I'm
did
talking
go.
about like for his take on the movie because he had stuff.
Oh, I see. I see.
Oh,
My bad.
yeah. Go on, Ben.
I went looking
We're
for
being
my
told for Labyrinth.
I went looking for my VHS copy of this movie because I wore
It's
the
in your
shit out of
VCR,
that.
Ben.
It's in the VCR. I watched this movie on repeat as a kid, so I like every line in it is so quotable for me. I would say this one and The Spy Who Shagged Me are are like 2 favorite of the trilogy. I saw Goldmember as I was getting a little bit older, and I remember not loving that as much. And then going back to it, I still enjoyed it, but the first 1 and 2 are by far the best. Will Ferrell, not recognizing him as Will Ferrell back in the day, and then rewatching this again just this last week, I was like, oh man, like you forget some of the folks who obviously got their uprising in this, right? Even Seth Green is Scott, like Scott. You'll love to see it. So I've been quoting this movie all week. Shauna has no idea what the heck I'm talking about, so it's been fun for me for sure.
It's a
Has she not seen
television
the movie?
commercial.
She's never seen it, and she's not a movie person, so like I couldn't tie her down to watch this one, unfortunately. So
I hope you're not tying her down. Did you have the figures at all? The McFarlane figures from
Yes, I have them all.
Oh, you have them
I know.
all.
I got
never
Fat
did.
Bastard right here. I have them all. Yeah.
Oh, the fat bastard was a
Yeah, you
banger.
had
Sorry,
Austin Powers on your mic.
Yeah, I have
That's
them.
right.
I have it somewhere. I took it out. I'm gonna get it back. I have it.
Yeah. As far as movie of the week, Labyrinth is a good one.
I don't know that I've ever seen Labyrinth.
Have you really?
Wait, no,
never seen-
we saw that with Eddie. Was that the one that ended in the movie where they're like, there was a line at the end of the movie.
I
where
think
it's
we
like,
did Labyrinth already.
We'll be here like. Now I gotta look it up quick. It doesn't bother me.
with the Goblin King, David Bowie.
I think we did that one. Yeah.
Bowie's in space.
Hang on. Here we go.
How
I don't know.
about
I feel like
I was gonna
we've
pick a
seen
Studio
Labyrinth.
Ghibli movie.
What the hell's that?
From Princess Momofuku.
If there's subtitles, I'm like.
No,
I'm
it's
out.
in English.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, we've seen Labyrinth. We've done that.
We've
Eddie
done
picked it.
Labyrinth, and we've done Momofuku.
Yeah, because I remember at the end of the movie, they all pop out of like her.
Yeah, I'm not picking
Yeah.
Momofuku. I'm picking a movie from that studio.
Yeah, no, thank
Sam
you.
says we haven't done Labyrinth.
We have done Labyrinth.
We've done Labyrinth. Sam.
Is that with David Bowie, right? That one?
Yeah.
Like the OG one? Yeah. I don't know if
We've
they made
done the
another
OG one. Is he referring to the OG one or the new one?
Or is he talking about that movie with Tom Cruise as Satan? Or not Satan.
Actually, Pan's Labyrinth, which is not the same movie at all,
Oh,
but
yeah.
was a
That's
crazy
what I'm
movie.
thinking. Sorry,
even
yeah,
still.
that's what
No, the movie with
Speaking of subtitles, that's a banger though.
the guy who
That's a
played
great movie.
it. What's his name?
I mean, I'm fine to do Labyrinth.
Bill Skar-
again.
Bill
I
Skarsgård?
swear that we've done
Yeah,
it.
didn't he play the devil in a movie called Labyrinth or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that a different movie?
You
All
dreamt
right.
about that one.
I'll
Anyhow,
choose-
I
I'll
was
choose
gonna
the
pick
movie.
Nausicaa Valley of the Winds. It's a really cool movie.
Yeah, Dean. But
Tim Curry.
why are you
thinking.
going to put everyone through this? Nausicaa. What is this? A tree that walks or something like that? Or you save a trees or?
Okay, well, can the
I-
Canadians even watch it? That's the question.
It's on HBO Max.
I watched Princess Momofuku. I'm like, fuck,
We don't have HBO Max in Canada.
we have Crave. It's kind of they have the
the
same licenses on it.
I don't know. Then I got. Let me do some research.
I'm out of my free signups.
Okay, well, I mean, do you want to just
I've
do
gone through all my burner
Labyrinth or?
emails.
I mean, it's up to you. It's
We've
your
already
movie.
seen it, but I mean, I like Labyrinth.
What
It's
about
fine.
what about like Mission Impossible?
What about you wait till your fucking choice?
Well, yeah,
Ben? You made us
wait a
watch
minute. It's
Blue
my
Eye.
fucking.
What
time.
about
Okay, Dean,
Pale
pick a-
Blue Eye?
Hey, Dean, pick a
Hold on.
movie. Pick a good movie, Dean. Don't screw us
I
over.
did-
Hold
pick a
on,
good
Dean.
movie. You're the
Text
one that-
Ben's coworker first to see what you should watch.
Yeah.
What else has he seen on a plane recently?
How about something
Jesus
Berserk?
Christ. Oh, we should watch Ava 4.0. John or Dean rather, can we thank the pillars here?
Yeah, the three pillars. Give a quick shout out to Sean Fear, Ian CB, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louie, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, James Colley, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns Figs, pew pew pew. Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Crett, Big Old Fern, King Zach, Caesar Merriquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomansky, Rick DeGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, there's Kevin, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Alan Morgan, Tukathri Wa, Derek B, Eris Portillo, Mark Randolph, Joe Medley, Pablo Meza, Carlos Saavedra, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Dalmadon, Jimmy James, Stephen Percha, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi, The Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. What a bunch of angels.
What a bunch of angels indeed. Here's a look at our January Patreon benefits. Ooh, Andres says The Rocketeer. We've done that a long time ago, but I'm always down for that. The Rock Who. January Patreon benefits is the Ox PD sticker and the Ox PD Chase sticker. Now, we're thinking we were going to do a Blockbuster sticker, but I think it would be better if we did a Blockbuster membership card with people's names on it. And Manny is going to work on designing that, like get it laminated and everything.
That'd be cool.
That's
so,
incredible.
Bro,
possibly.
Does everybody have Disney Plus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have we watched John Carter?
I've never seen
I
it.
hate that movie.
Do you
I've
really?
never seen it.
John
Underrated,
Carter is
right?
cool. It's a cool movie.
I'd try it. I'd watch it.
That's what Ben said about one.
Hey,
the one Blue
hey,
Eye.
I already texted Matt and just to see if you've seen
What
it.
about the Chippendale Rescue Rangers? That shit was funny.
Dean, you pick what you want. Okay.
I also haven't seen Sonic 2, Dean, and I've been meaning to watch that. I'm just saying.
Ooh, Sonic 2's
nice
fun,
choice.
dude.
I haven't seen it yet.
Where's it streaming? I don't know where it's streaming.
I don't know if
Ooh,
it's.
I haven't
I don't
seen
know
Sonic
if it is
2.
yet. But
Okay,
Still
we'll
need to
pick,
watch
fucking
Sonic
pick
Rim.
this later. Jesus Christ. We'll be here all night for Ben to pick his
Just
movie.
pull up HBO and let's just go
Stuff
through the
for me.
catalog right now.
Well, fuck, you're making it your choice.
I'm helping Dean. I'm helping Dean.
Patreon benefits start at $5 a month for the digital benefits, $7.50 for swag sent straight to your door, $15 for the certified crispy certificate, and $25 for the Wada Guy tier. You get doubles while the stickers we send and all the benefits of the previous tiers. Our YouTube channel members, we have MojoZ78, Absolute Irwin, DK Avengers 702, OMFG Rick, S Beam, Andres IB, Daminator, Sam Gist, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hansen, Chris V, Big Ol' Fern, Cram, Victor Juarez, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibo, CC3PO, Carlito, CT603, Eddie Money Mendez, Sia Dreams, JC, B-Chan, Fat Batman, and Justin Sport Card Museum. Membership for the channel starts at 99 cents if you're a Patreon, or $2.99 for the Peanut Gallery tier. You get loyalty badges and emojis to use in the chat. Here's a look at the network. We have After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. Thursday we have Small Talk at 8:30. Friday Club at 10:30. Saturday D&D, which should be fun, and then Sunday the reissue. So lots of streaming here in the next few days. And be sure to check out our Pose Wars from last Saturday. I think it was a great bit of fun. Gigi tore up Marco's office, which we all enjoyed. And yeah, a bunch of angels here that helped keep the network going. TeePublic, if you want to buy some swag, you can do so here. All kinds of different designs from the history of the network. And if there's anything you want that's not there, let me know and we'll get it uploaded. John, can you read our socials for me, please?
On Facebook, we got Collecting Weekly. We got Collecting Weekly Auxiliary. On Instagram, at Collecting Weekly _clips, and at The Everyday Collector. Be sure to log into those and subscribe and follow it all. I don't even know why I have to say that, because you should be already.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, what the hell am I doing? Yeah, be sure to check out John, Marco, and Ben on their channels. Put some links there for you guys. You can click those. And yeah, great show tonight. I think that we had some goofs, we had some gaffes, we had some laughs. Sam Gist says, when do we get some Ox PD? This week is a lot of streaming. It would probably be next week at the earliest that we'll get Ox PD. But,
were you able to figure out Red Dead Redemption? Like, is that one you can do?
Oh yeah, so you'd have to have a PC to play with us, Ben. But yeah, we Dean and I are picking up Red Dead Redemption to try some Red Dead Online.
That'd be fun.
So that'll be fun. But yeah, we got a lot of content that we want to make for you guys. It's just a matter of when and where we can slot those in. But John, Marco, Ben, do you guys have anything that you guys want to plug on your channels before we kick this one off?
Friday Club. That's pretty much it. You guys come and hang out with us.
Yeah,
Statue Talk. We always have fun. Try to make it fun. And shout out to James Colley, another great Canadian. Birthday boy.
Oh, James.
Nice.
Happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday.
Terrorists in our D&D campaign. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, it was also my sister's birthday yesterday. Deanie, sweetheart.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Deanie.
Happy birthday.
She's the best.
She
She's
is
not
the
in
best.
chat or anything,
Much
but
better
she's-
than Dean. She does watch the show, though.
No, I mean currently she's not in the chat, but
I did want to say also, I know D&D is not our... Who's watching YouTube on their phone? God, doing a television show here.
I
have my phone in my hand, but it's
my phone. I turned it on and it
Okay,
unlocked it
fucking
in
guy.
my face, and it was on a video.
Okay, yeah, that was another stuck video. I've seen that one. Anyways, I know D&D is not our most bread and butter show, but I would ask if you are watching now, just tune in for a moment on Saturday. Drop a message. It's our finale Dungeons and Dragons episode of Campaign 1. It may be our part 1, depending on how things go, but it's going to be a great show. Hopefully we get some blesses in the chat, because Cody's like, I'm trying to kill all of you guys from this point on, so I'm quite scared for what's going to happen. But yeah, it'll be fun, and I hope that we get some support from people that aren't typically tuning in. Maybe even just dropping a hey would be great. So yeah, I think that's all we have to plug. If there's no one else that needs to share anything, Marco, do you got anything that you want to add here?
No, nothing on here. I will just say, great episode of Pose Wars this weekend. Like you mentioned, Gigi held it down. Ben had some gaffes, but he, overall he held it down as well. Some really good poses.
I can't believe I got disqualified from that round.
Yeah, that was one of the funnier things I've ever seen. I laughed out loud.
In another dimension.
Dude, somebody commented it looked like Ben got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. That's exactly what it looked like.
The meme of the little kid just right. But yeah, I mean, Dean, S Beam, Thomas all held it down. So really fun episode. If you haven't checked that out, go back and watch it, because it was just funny and it was just fun to watch and not participate in for once.
Vintage says D&D is metal AF. Tune in.
We also have our reissue show coming back.
Yeah,
for
Sunday.
a second round on Sunday.
Yeah, I apologize. It was supposed to be last Sunday, but I had some family stuff come up and I had to tend to that. So, anyways, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm John.
I'm Marco.
And I'm Ben.
We'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye.